I remember what you did. I remember. You started out by telling me, "I could see your grandma that just passed. I can see her. She's standing right there in front of me. Where is she?" "No, I'm telling you, I can see her. I can see things other people can't see." So one day he come home from work early before my mom get home, and he's standing by the bathroom door. "I gotta use the bathroom." "All right, I'll be out in a minute." At this time, I'm 13, 14 years old. And I'm in the bathroom and I'm experimenting with myself, but I'm by myself in the bathroom in a space where I should be fine. I come out the bathroom to walk past him and he stopped me. "I know what you was in there doing." "What are you talking about?" "I saw you. I told you I can see through things. I can see the future and stuff. You was in there and you was doing this with this hand," and everything that he said was true of what was happening in that bathroom. See, I'm willing to give my truth, hmm, but are you willing to give your truth about why you would be standing to that door talking to a 14, 13-year-old girl in that manner? No matter what I was doing in that bathroom on that day. But it was almost like you was whispering in my ear, telling me what I was doing as if it was turning me on and it was creeping me out. But see, this the part of the story that you don't want me to tell nobody. But since you asking questions and you asking them to the wrong person, ask the grown up, and I'll tell you who your husband is, lady. Okay, I needed to get that out before I said anything to anybody, cause I don't want it to be interrupted of what I have to say when I have to say it. I have to get it up off of me when I get it up off of me. So this too was also another one of my stories of something that really happened with me with that lady's husband that my mama was dating. So again, I say, who can you trust around your kids? Who can you trust? And if I'm over here looking weird, it's because I'm talking to YouTube and I'm talking to TikTok at the same time. My first time streaming on both at the same time. Um, but I tell true stories about what things that happen in my life over here on my channel, in hopes that it'll help somebody else um to do better just by encouraging them or giving them a piece of what happened to me so that maybe they can change the pattern of the way things happen in their life. So I'm sorry that I came in and just right off the rip with my story, but I want to take this time and say hello to everybody and thank you all for coming through and sharing with going walking with me through my journey. So I'm gonna read through some of the comments because I'm going on both. I'm on YouTube and on TikTok at the same time, learning how to do some things. Um, Hi everybody over here on YouTube world. Good to see you all. I came over here too. Um, oh, I see Oh, hi VS, Charlie sending love. Oh, that's one of my mods. I don't know how to do nothing over here on TikTok yet, but I'm learning, you all. And our soul songs. Hi everybody. Thank you all for coming through and spending some time with me. Thanks again. Thanks for my beautiful mod. Hey Kajaria. um oh, I love you too. Hey J Mac. Over here on Instagram. Let me see. Hi, hi, hi. Thanks again for coming over here and joining in with me. Like I said, this is my first time doing both at the same time. And although I do short lives, I come through and drop it. And then if anybody do have questions, I do answer questions or whatever, but mostly I like to come on here, drop what I have to say, and go ahead and get on off. If there's a later time that there's a question about one of my videos that I've already dropped, of course, I'll answer any of those questions because I'm in the place and the time to be answering any other questions about what happened in my life before. So, again, I appreciate you all for coming through and showing support. And if you can, follow me with Life with Tashana over on YouTube and over on TikTok. Thank you all very much for joining me. If I don't have anybody that wants to come up and ask any questions, I'm going to get off and do some other things that I have to do, but I like to keep it short and simple most of the time. And hopefully it bless somebody along the way. Please press that thumbs up and share. Yes, please press that thumbs up. Please like, please share, especially with somebody who you think may have gone through any of the things that I go through, that I've gone through. Go back and look through some of my videos. I know we got a lot of people who have been through a lot of the things that I've been through. I know because of the things that are in my comments. I have a video over on YouTube that's right now that is 1.5 million views or higher at this point. Go over and check it out, and same thing. I'm getting used to TikTok right now at this moment. So, roll with me until I, get it together. And I promise, it'll be worth watching. And again, I say if these videos are not for you, share it with somebody who I know that can benefit from it. And with that being said, I'm gonna look through the chat one more time. And Life with Tashana, have you forgiven your mother? Jules, that's why I love you. You come with some of the best questions ever. Jules, absolutely, I have forgiven my mother. I forgiven my mother before she passed away. I did not get to have a lot of the conversations that I have with her because I was not as strong as I was back then as I am right now today. So, yes, some conversations I had with her and some I didn't get to, but absolutely I have forgiven my mother, and that's why I can come on here and talk about things in the manner that I talk about. But and it may sound like I'm digging at my mother, but I'm not digging at my mother. I'm taking the pain that it caused me and I'm turning into a story to try to help somebody else work through it. Jules, again, I thank you for asking that question. A lot of people don't ask that. Hello, Tashana. Keep growing your channel and speaking your truth. Um, hey, everybody over here on TikTok. Thank you for coming through. I'm just over here reading some questions. If you have any questions about what I read, what I went through, I'll be more than glad to answer as long as I have touched on that area before. I love your videos. Thank you, Monty, so much. K Monty, I mean. I never got the opportunity to do that with my mother. So blessings for you. Jules, I didn't get a lot of it out. But I got enough out to understand. My mom gave me enough of her story to understand that whatever she did for us, I do believe that she did the best with what she was given to give to us. So Yes, I'll tell the story because the story is true. It doesn't mean that I'm bashing my mom or anything, but if I can give some information to somebody else that can help them along the way, then I'm willing to talk about the pain that it caused me back in the day so it can help somebody else in that aspect. So um a lot of people because I hear so much about it in family, whatever it may be. I hear about it a lot all the time. And so why are we not having these real conversations about reality instead of the fakeness of it all? Honestly, I still harbor a lot of resentment. Well, Jules, I think that's Jules said, honestly, I still harbor a lot of resentment. Um, just because I can sit in front of you and tell the story, it don't mean that sometimes because I still shed tears about some of the things that I've went through. Doesn't mean that I don't still hurt behind those things. It's just that I'm in a place where I honestly, just knowing my mom's background and what she may have went through and everything, because my mom wasn't raised by her mom, so her mom gave her up for adoption. So um I understand at this time my mom did the best with what she had, and because of that, I'm telling my story to help somebody, not to beat down my mama where a lot of people think that I did. But more people understand what my purpose here more than the ones that think I'm here for the wrong thing, like to beat my mom up. I'm in my 50s now, and I find it so much easier to speak my truth. I was blessed that I didn't have the same difficulty, but I speak up for anyone I can. Thank you for speaking out. Uh, I know that's right. That's how I feel. Let me look over here on TikTok and see did I have any questions over here on this side. Coach P, thank you for joining the live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, Yep, okay. I don't have any questions over there, but I'm back over here on YouTube to see what questions. Um Hi everyone. What time will Mr. Shauna be speaking? I'm speaking right now. Elizabeth. Am I silent? You can hear me over here. What helped you understand what your mom went through? What led you to understanding? Okay, what helped me to understand what your mom went through? The way I understood what my mom went through is because I start to ask a lot of questions. I start to dig in the background of my family. Um, I just at a moment in my life I was real quiet about everything, but then also at another time in my life, it's just like I had a lot of questions about everything. It's like I keep seeing stuff repeated itself and all that kind of stuff. So it made me ask questions, and that's how I began to learn. And then all of a sudden, one day, my mom, I was in my 20s when I learned that my mom had been adopted. So, my grandma gave two of her first two daughters up for um, up for adoption, but she still had access access to them. Like gave them to somebody else in the family, which has been a generational curse in our family. A lot of people in our family, though they're raised by family members. So all of that make me ask questions um about those things, and just listening to people tell stories. And actually it's the stories that's like the sitting around and people telling you about, you remember your mama used to, when your mama would comb your hair and like pop you upside the head with the comb or whatever. People laugh about those stories, and yeah, there's been a time that I laugh about them, but if you go back as a child, And you can go back to that place of when it was that you got popped in the head with that cone. If you can go back and feel how that made you feel to be popped in the head by that cone, then it ain't so funny no more. So, I'll tell you, when I have one conversation about one thing, it it opens up the door to like 500 other conversations. But to answer your question in the short, Charlie, because that's a loaded question right there. But I just began to ask questions of my family. I got more interested. I started digging up different stuff until it got overwhelming for me at one point, and then I finally learned enough to, you know what I was doing. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit more, Charlie. That was a good one. Our soul songs. I've been starting to speak mine, but in baby steps. Jules, I talked about that too. Is that anything you do and you don't know how to do it, you have to start out when you thinking, especially if you know you've raised kids before, you've had a baby before. Start out the same way the same expectancy you would want your kid to know. Um, Start out with the same expectancy going through whatever it is that you're going through is the same way as you would look at your baby to know. You wouldn't expect your baby to come out knowing how to change a diaper. You wouldn't expect your baby to come out and know how to fix his bottle. Take baby steps. Sometimes I need to take minute by minute, second by seconds on some days, but baby steps. In my opinion, some parents unwittingly groom us for all types of abuse. Absolutely, they do. And just don't understand that they are grooming us um unknowingly. But all of most of this stuff that was happening to me based off of the things that had happened before was made me be quiet. And a lot of people don't know that one thing, because things got explosive in my house when the first incident happened, it made me be quiet for everything else and set me up for the rest of my life almost to be quiet and not say what happened to me because of that first incident. So, and if you want to know what that first incident it is on YouTube, where I talk about being lost at 6. So check that out over on YouTube. I may even drop it over here on TikTok. Um, Let me get a question from over here on TikTok, or just let me read the chat. My mother was raised by her mother and father, but so many family secrets going back generations. Yeah, and I believe too that with some of the things that was happening to me, I think it sparked something in my mom, and she got scared of it because it seemed like it was familiar to her, and she just didn't know how to handle it. Um, so I don't know. Um, Coach P says, talk about it. I am Coach P. So true. Just because it was done to us doesn't mean we have to do it to our children. You absolutely right. And that's what I'm here to talk about. Things that we may laugh about, and of course, some things I do believe that kids should be spanked for. I truly believe that. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that on here, but um, may the Lord be with me. But for all of the different things that we did back in the days, I just think there's also a different way of doing it. So in my opinion, yeah, well, I read that one. I can relate, Jules. I have resentment for my mom too. Yeah, whatever according to what the situation is, you don't all of those things don't just disappear because you dealing with them and you able to talk about them. There's pain still associated with it. There's still hurt because you can't go back and tell your parent every single bitty thing that hurt you. So yeah, it's still sometimes. I was even talking to somebody this morning about an incident that, yeah, I'm gonna talk about it until it doesn't hurt anymore, but not to like beat anybody down, my mama down with it or any. It's a part of my story, so I get to tell. I get to talk about it. Yes, Jules, it's a blessing to be able to fault. Woo! J Max says, have you forgiven yourself for some of the things that others have done to you because it wasn't your fault? Well, one of my biggest things that held me back for a long time is the one video that I put on YouTube where I said I'm exposing ugly. I feel like that was the biggest clog in my life, was letting that piece go because I was protecting a whole bunch of people with just that one secret. A whole bunch of people. So when I let that go, it gave me release to release everything else and all the other people that I'm protecting. I don't have a reason to protect them anymore because my kid my kids are grown. And when I say my kids, I mean all 14 of them, every one of them that I helped raise. They all adults, just about at this moment. So, you know, it's time to talk about it. Sometimes I think I'm alone, and I hate to admit it. Um, ooh, that's a big one too. A lot of us think we are alone because we don't talk about it. And the thing is you can be sitting in the room right next to somebody and not even know that they going through the same thing that you going through, sitting right there in the same room. So sometimes it's just a matter of will you push it up, and especially if it's something that happened to you. Go ahead, but once you speak it out into the atmosphere, you'll literally find out how many other people are in the same place. It's hard to overcome things that other people push under the rug. You are brave, Jules. Absolutely. Now, if other people push stuff, for some reason over here, my Wi-Fi ain't Wi-Fi right. Yes, please press the thumbs and the like button. Please share. Does anyone get defensive when you bring up situations with them? Well, binge thinker, when I first started out, I had a lot of concerns, but I talked to a lot of people. I talked to people in my life that I valued their opinion, and I let them know what I was going to do and that I was going to talk about it. I did agree that I wouldn't say names, but I'm going to talk about different situations in my life, and if it happened to me, at this moment in my life, I ain't too much concerned with and I'm just trying to be careful with how I say it because I love the people that I'm talking about, but it's a truth that happened to me. So to be blunt with it, I just at this moment I don't I it doesn't matter. I'll say that. I ain't gonna say that I don't care because it does cross my mind about how they feel about me sharing it. But I can walk with my head held high because I know I'm telling the truth. So it's hard to overcome things that other people push under the rug. Yes, I can. Miss Jules, you are an amazing human. Many hugs. Absolutely, she is. I haven't spoken to my two older sisters on over 20 years because of family secrets and not being believed. Well, um, whew, um, We've dealt with that situation in our family too, of telling a story and you not being believed. And Jules, is what I'll say to you. If you seen it with your own eyes and you heard it with your own ears, don't never let nobody tell you what you heard with your own ears and you saw with your own eyes. Don't ever let them tell you that it was something different. And that's all I'm gonna say to you on that one. And that's something that I stand on. Nobody ain't gonna change what I saw with my own eyes and I heard with my own ears. And I can go back and I can tell the story over and over and over again. And one thing that I can guarantee you, it is won't be my story that switch up. Now, you want to go head to head with any of that right there? Um, I can. Now, something over here, invite to join the live. I don't know what that means. Is accept turn off invites for this live? Okay, it's accept, meaning somebody want to join the live. Hi. Uh, okay, then
I know, you are so fit. Your eye is bad. Yes.
Okay, then I don't know why I let some these folks up here on my live. I don't know because I at this moment I ain't here to play or whatever.
This
So
language? Which
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. VS, if you don't mind coming up here, let me know.
Yes. Your mom, I shall speak. Your son.
Say that again.
Mama, please elect my life. I I have 8.
I don't know. I don't know what about this one. Okay, anybody that's over here on TikTok that wanna join in, then you can come join in over on the other side because I don't know how to um yeah, I don't know how to end this one and I don't want it to be disrespectful because I'm not about this, so I don't know how to delete them. So I'm gonna end this live. Thank y'all.
Bye.
Boy, the devil know how to be busy. But anyways, I'm gonna continue on with my thing over here. And I guess that was just and I just count that as that mean it was time for that to be to an end over there on that side. Thank you, Mr. Shauna, for your story and helping so many through your story. I appreciate you all for sitting and listening to my story, and hopefully you finding somebody or it's helping you to get through whatever it is that you need to go through. I lost my train of thinking over there. I don't know what just happened over there. Art, Tashana, you are the curse breaker. Um, and I believe that to be very true. I'm over here fighting. I keep trying to show my family the pattern of we keep following this same thing over and over and over again. Let's do something different because this over here ain't working for you. So yes, I am. I'm fighting it tooth and nail over here. I'm not in that place yet to discuss what happened to me as a child. It's all right, Jules, you don't have to be in that place right now, but just sitting under the voice and listening to somebody to encourage you to get there. Um again, that's another situation. Crawl like a baby until you get there. It took me 47 years to get there. So, um, and it don't matter what age you is, yours will come at the time when it's supposed to come. Thank you, Mr. Shauna, for your story and helping so many through theirs. Yes, I read that one. That's how Pandora door works. You start telling one story that leads to another story, and you have to take a step back and say, "Wow, yeah." And it actually do sometimes. Like the stories come flooding so fast, from what happened back in the days. It's almost like I gotta sit with it for a couple of days and figure out which one of these stories is most important for me, which is gonna help me get the heaviest burden off of me at this point when I'm talking about it. Because there's so many things that come up at one time. So it's like pick one. Your truth may make others comfortable, even if their truth as well. Tashana, you are protecting many children and healing the child and many others. Thank you. Thank you so much. I agree with discipline. I was disciplined. Yep, I agree that kids definitely need to be disciplined, but some of the stuff that we got back in the days and some of the stuff that some kids getting right now today, all of it ain't necessary because a lot of it got to do with being consistent. If you consistent with your kids, it don't take a whole bunch of this, that, and the other. I see a lot of parents love to say we gonna do this, that, and the other, but it never come around to you doing what you say, which means that the kid does not believe what you say when you say you're gonna do it. So sometimes it's just the parent need to be consistent with what they doing. It really don't matter how they feel because this is your truth, how you see it and what you went through as a child. I mean, J Mac, when I sit there, I be wanting them to understand what their truth is and everything, because I'm telling them about everything. When I'm talking about something, I can tell you where we was sitting at, where we was at when it happened, what time of the day it was, and about what age I was. Because I go back in my mind and I was thinking, what grade was I in then? What else was happening around in those times? And everything. And I can bring it back up and I can pinpoint everything that it was. And I'll be right there and I'll be like, no, you ain't gonna change the story for me. I know what happened. So, I don't let things go as easily, especially now that I've found my voice or whatever. No, I don't let nobody come along and change my story. No, ma'am. I don't let them do it. I hope so, but I don't want to offend the rest of the family. Ooh, Jules, you almost made me say something there. I be trying to keep more of the good side out of me. But I'm gonna tell you something. What J Mac, tell her what you told me the other day about them people. Yeah. um, and J Mac will tell you because she told me right the first night that I released my stuff. You don't probably consider those people forever and a day in your life. Ah, tell her J Mac. Jules, you should scream your truth then. Absolutely, Ben Stanker. How old were you when your mom passed away? You know what? I ain't never even sat down and like did the math, but I'm telling you, I know I was I was like between 23, 24, 25. I was definitely there in those age. I want to say I was 24. I was 24. I ain't never sat down and like thought like how old was I? I didn't write it down the day that it happened. I know the dates that it happened and everything, but to think about it and say, so I always, if I'm telling the story, I usually say 24 because that's the number in between the 24, So I always say I go with the 24. So you were right about being consistent and disciplined. All my mom had to do was look at us. Okay, I'm telling you that look could get them every time. It's like you don't gotta say a whole lot because what I did was I started doing the 1, 2, 3 method. And when I get to three, if I have to get up and come and tell you anything, then that comes along with something a little extra. But you know, um, yeah, consistency is everything. And after a while, you don't have to. You can easily say something, and the kid will go and follow, what it is that you're trying to lead them in. Um, at being single, that's easier said than done. You don't know my family. Hmm. Yeah, Jules, you in the right place, Jules. You in the right place. Just keep on hanging around and get that encouragement. And after a while, what they think about it will fly right out the window. The truth tellers are considered troublemakers only by those that want you to listen. This ain't what you said. Only by those who want you to shut up. Yes, that's exactly how it goes. Anytime, and you know what? I had to put my family on notice of that. Of every time I start speaking something, and they want they want you to be quiet because when you start speaking about the truth, it makes the room uncomfortable. It makes the room uncomfortable. Go figures that the truth make the room uncomfortable. No, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. That's what I'll be about. When we get together as a family and stuff, I like to sit down, I like to have conversations and stuff like that. Bump that we all out here posing for these family pictures and all of this stuff, and then we sitting in the room and we don't even like each other. I want to have a conversation and get down to the bottom of the things so that we ain't got to be fake with one another. The truth is there. My oldest sister thinks if you don't talk about it, it doesn't exist. Well, we know that's a lie. My other older sister blames me for what happened with two family members. Well, Jules, you go back on the inside of you and know what you saw with your own eyes and what you heard with your own ears. Don't let nobody change your story. I'm gonna keep on saying that. Jules, know that you have the right to heal. Identify within yourself that you want the best for everyone and healing for yourself. Your intentions are pure and good. Amen. My mother blamed me too. First, she said she didn't know. Then she said I was lying. Then she said I asked for it. She covered for him. Uncover him, Jules. Uncover him. Your mom put a cover on him. Take the cover off. Other people are trying not, and do that in your own time. Baby steps. Do it in a safe place where you can talk to people. And that safe place is wherever you deem it to be safe at. Other people are trying not to feel guilty about not protecting you. Oh, that happens a lot. I found that too with people like if you cry in front of somebody and they don't want you to cry, most of the time people don't want you to cry because it does something to them when you cry. So I apply that same thing to other people. It make them uncomfortable when you telling your truth. And when you get to that place where you learn not to you give other people consideration, but not so much so that it's overpowering your own consideration. So my stuff happened in the 60s, different back then. You absolutely right. And now this is years and years and years away removed from that where you have plenty of safe spaces and plenty of people who gonna hear you. And when a person has been in that same place, it's easy for people that been in that place to understand and know and recognize a person that it happened to just as well as you recognize it with yourself. So you just have to find your safe spaces, Jules, whatever is safe for you. Um, Jules, you have support to begin healing at your own pace. You absolutely do. Jules, speaking your up on you by up on you by what someone else done to you. Uh absolutely. The secret wasn't never yours to hide in the first place. I there to cut off toxic family members and make your own happiness. Absolutely. I believe that with everybody. If you need to cut them off, then cut them off. Leave them right there where they is. I'm telling you, I'm in a space in my life that I don't want anybody around me that ain't supposed to be around. And that's my truth. I'm telling you, I'm literally if I'm not supposed to be around that person, I don't want to be around that person. I want to be around people that is for me and there's a purpose that we there around each other. And that's just where I am at this point in my life. Um yes, someday, Jules. Not maybe. It will be someday. Gets cut off too. To me, I don't put no particular person in that place because if you deem a person to be toxic in your life, I don't care who they are. If it's a mama on down, if they are toxic, yes, remove them. Because the one thing I've learned is that you can't really change the people around you, but you can change your when you change, everything around you start to change. You can't change the things around you, but when you change, the things around you will shift around you as you decide to change. It ain't the people that's around you once you change. So a lot of people think, and that's the way I believe that first is that I need to change the people that's in front of me. No, I don't have no control of changing anything. I don't even know if they want to change, but I can change me. I can change whether I hang around those people. I can change whether I talk to them. Because a lot of people we think we need them. We have to talk to them. We have to have them in our life. No, no, we don't. And that was a lot of things that were me. I didn't ask for a bunch of people to be dumped on me, but a lot of people I was dumped on depended on me. And so I was raised to be considerate of everybody else but me. I never had a chance to just sit back and take care of me. So binge thinker I did. I haven't seen or spoken to my sister in over 20 years. I lost my brother in 2007 and 2015. They were my heroes. Well, then I'm glad that you had heroes in your life, Jules. Leave them with their guilt and let go of any you feel now. No. I have attachment and abandonment issues big time. Oh man, when you go through things like what you've been through, Jules, there is issues. Even there's so many conversations that can come up with just this one thing, but I'ma just Jules, we can have plenty of conversation. All you need to do is just hit me up and we can do conversations on anything that you want to talk about. You ain't even got to talk much. Just present a question. I will talk on it. I will encourage you without nobody even having to encourage you. Ask me a question. And I mean it, Jules. You can inbox me in the back. You know, you can message me or whatever if a question you feel that you need to answer, and you just want me to talk about it instead of letting it be known that it came from you or anything. I can leave you out of it and get up here and talk about it. Sometimes I like to talk about things that people gonna engage with. So, but Jules, I'm here to encourage you in any way that I can, and anybody else who listening. I can give you what I have and what I've went through and my process, and hopefully that's some encouragement for you. Um all right, I'll be looking for you. You say you'll take me up on that offer. Okay, Jules, then I'm down. I'm down. Um, and I'll be willing anybody else to join anytime I have those types of panels. I love having conversations. I love the questions and everything. I didn't even think that I'd be on here for this amount of time, but I appreciate the questions and everything. It made me almost forget that I'm talking to I'm not really talking to my computer. I'm talking to people on the computer, but sometimes I feel like I'd be alone in this room. But okay. I appreciate this community more than you guys know. Jules, hey, jump in there. I mean, if it had not been for people that I met on one-on-one basis, it would be impossible for me to be where I am today. And my conversation started out one-on-one, like trying to feel for, am I in the right place to be talking to the right person? And you keep on feeling around. It's like you in the dark. You keep moving your hand around to feel until you feel what feels comfortable for you. And then when it feels comfortable for you, then grab on to that then at that point. Um and again, I say baby steps. So um like I said, I'll be willing to hear you in the background and hit on things that you ask a question about. I will be willing to do that. I'm in a much different place. I'm more comfortable with talking about my things, and I can't necessarily say that I may not hit something um that came up in my life that I thought that I was totally healed, because when I talked about like I said, I released here on YouTube about a guy that did he basically kidnapped me and then brought me back home. Um And when I talked about it on here, I had been through it and talked about it so many times before in my life. I thought that I was in a certain place, but when I started to record the video, I wasn't absolutely where I thought I was. And when I got ready to post it on here, because I pre-recorded it, it took me a minute to hit that play button, because I didn't know, was I ready to face the world with the truth that I was about to tell. Um But I'm very thankful that I had the courage to go ahead and press that button, because the moment I pressed it, it also made me realize that, what was I hiding for? I didn't do anything but be a child. And anybody who take advantage of a child in that way, they deserve to be exposed. Jules, you'll find your strength in time. You can always love your family, but you don't have to like them. Amen to that. And you can like them and love them from a distance. Period. And you don't know, you screaming from the mountaintop. Maybe the same ones that are trying to stop you from telling the story. The crazy thing about it is, there's some situations that and I'll say this. Um I'm just going to go ahead and say it. There's been times that I've talked about things that happened to me, and I'm telling the story, and this is literally somebody close to me and my family. I'm telling my story, but I don't know the one that's sitting next to me has the same story, almost with the same person who did one of the acts to me. He did it to her, and we've been walking side by side for ever and a day. And the two of us didn't know. So those people, you may be triggering something in them, because it can be two different ways, Jules, at the same time. You could be triggering something in them and they don't want you to keep bringing it up because it's cutting them. You understand where I'm going with that. So, Jules, sometimes you got to take those extra people off of your back and think about the person that you got to live with every day. And the person you have to live with every day is Jules. You don't have to live with any of those other people. You have to live with you every day. So do what is best for me. I bet you good at taking care of everybody else. I guarantee you is. I Me is the hardest thing to take care of. Learning more and more every day about taking care of me. I'm already good at taking care of everybody else. So I bet you I already know you the fixer. I just happened to see that because my screen rolled on by itself to see. So I rolled past in the family. I know how it go because that I've put myself in different situations, and sometimes I looked at other people and thought, um, no, you actually are the one that keeps coming to that moment that you don't need to fix everything. Sometimes you have to let people go and you have to let them fall just like the same way you was failed. You have to let them people fall and learn how to fix it on their own. Because sometimes people and Jules, there is value in you. I'm gonna just say that. We are survivors making a positive life impact. I'm sure trying. We are the wounded warriors. Oh, that's that too. Started this whole process for me. Then I met life with strangers. Bless me. I can't ask for more. Absolutely. It's just like, and like I said, I anybody just like the it's showing me right now only 8 people in this live, and I feel like right now this conversation that's happening right here has been one of the best lives that I've had. It's intimate. Questions are coming, and we having a conversation. I just feel like I'm just in my living room kicking it with the people who are supposed to be in here right now. Tashana, you were reliving the trauma. Yeah, you definitely can relive it in that moment, and I just didn't expect that um I was gonna be there in that moment, and I just thought I'd be so strong while I'm telling this story. But to go down that memory lane, and the most hurtful thing about that one was is before I got to the point of talking about the whooping, I already knew what was coming because that hurt me because I felt like my mama just should have known what had happened to me. And I know you don't have, and I'm going off of the tuition that I have because I definitely am a helicopter mom. If you can call anyone one of them. So based off of the way that I do with my kids now, I feel like she should have known. But if we all know and we all being honest, I don't care how much you helicopter over any of your kids, you ain't gonna know every single thing that happened to them. And so, um, being that I got a whooping is one of the more hurtful things that about that story. The rest of it, I probably could have let it rolled off of me because, and in the back of my mind, as I'm telling that story, it's almost like I can hear my mom apologizing. And I'm gonna move past that before I be in tears. I had to cut my own sister off. Um, she was toxic. She was always bringing chaos into my life. Oh, I know about that too, Charlie, because They'll bring it, and then you don't understand how you got in the thick of it, and before you know it, you the bad and you the crazy person. Now I know how that go too. I do understand. I'm the fixer in the family. Those abusers take every opportunity they can. The other person is it happened to, then has to accept the truth that it happened to them. Absolutely. Self-love is the best love. It absolutely is. I wrote a book about okay, and couldn't understand why my family refused to read the manuscript for feedback. I didn't publish it. Well, you know what? Benj, I think about that. The one thing you did was you released it into the atmosphere. And once you release it into the atmosphere, ain't nothing you can do to take it back. You can't, when the truth is hitting you right there in the face, it don't never stop hitting you, because every time somebody mention that conversation, it like it'll keep popping up everywhere. Boom, boom, boom. They ain't have to read it, even though they ain't tell you that they read it. I bet you they read it. They probably just didn't tell you that they did. And you may not get no feedback now, but it'll show up when you least expect it to. Jules, give them, Jules, give them a break. Give who a break? Facts, Miss Tashana. I tried to fix my sister over and over again. I had to say no and cut her off. It was hurting me doing it over and over again. And one thing I learned about that, you will uh they'll bash you in 1 minute when you cut them off, and then they'll be saying you the bad person, and the next thing you know, they'll be ringing your phone again to come back and get some more of that bad person. That's just how they work. The ones that call you crazy is always the one that need to talk to you. I'm here. Okay. Me too. So comforting. Drop the link. Okay, I'm in talking away. Let me drop the link. Okay, I dropped the link in the chat. Um, okay, Binge Thinkers, what is a great tool for self-publishing to get stories out. I read in that app all the time. Boy, I'll tell you, when I'll tell you this book thing, it keep coming up in my face over and over again about I need to write a book. I mean, I don't have somebody told me a thousand times over about writing a book. Um, the weird thing is, I always thought I was the only one, and to find out that thousands of people went through what I went through. That's how it is. Hey, VS,
Hey, Tashana.
thank you
I
for
just want
coming.
to make mention. I just want to make mention of, a lot of people be looking for like an apology for anything that's happened to them. And
Hmm.
sometimes an apology is not like a band-aid. It doesn't make it feel better. Sometimes it can make it worse. Because
Right,
I know, when my abuser was confronted, he admitted and apologized. And you would think if someone admit and apologize to it, it'll make it better. It almost seemed like it made me more mad. I got more comfort out of being angry,
right.
because when it come to family, like, okay, they apologize. Let's be family again. We're back to normal. But that don't take away like um the mental of it, the wounds you don't see.
Right.
Cause then you have the other stuff like, well, a family reunion, you watching this person around other kids, and can I bring my kids around? I don't trust this person. And like you wonder, like, okay, well, I know with my brother, he got married to a lady who had like 5 or 6 daughters, titties bigger than mine. I was like, it was always odd to me, you
Mhm.
know. I don't know. I just know a lot of people be looking for the I'm sorry. And I'm here to tell you firsthand that I'm sorry don't make it feel better. It might make you even more upset.
I've never,
So you got to heal yourself.
I've never gotten I'm sorry from.
Well, did you do a confrontation though? Did you confront?
I've never did this, but let me tell you something. What happened was I had a whole bunch of sleepless nights. And to tell you the truth, one thing, the last straw was for me. Was
Mhm.
I seen this guy's wife in the store, and I hadn't seen her in forever. And remember, she
Mm.
was best friends with my auntie,
Mm.
and found out she lives really close by me. And she ended up mentioning to me that she has a daughter.
Ooh. Is it his daughter?
Yes, and oh my God, you talking about it took away my peace.
Mm.
When I went home, I could not stop thinking about it because in my mind, oh my God, what is he doing to their daughter?
Tashana, sometimes they won't do a thing to their own kids, but they'll tell somebody
Right,
else child up.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Just being real.
Exactly, but I'm just saying the part of my process was to run into her that day in the store and to find out that she had a daughter, and I know she married to this guy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was traumatizing for me because, and it made me feel crazy too, all at the same time, to be thinking, dang, she told me that, and I can't just stand here and tell her what he did to me back then.
Shit. But I on Facebook, and I did it out of I was being vicious on Facebook. I had got upset with my family member and air him out online. And I did it to be vicious. That
Right.
was the intent, you know. You wouldn't believe the support I got, but you wouldn't believe the double hate that I got from family, his ex-wife, because they weren't married no more.
Mhm.
But they got one son together. The girls wasn't his, but they had a son together. When I say that woman was, and she's a social worker at the human, like we go get food stamps. She was a social worker. So I
Right.
said a social worker, because she was bragging about she got a master's degree in social work. A social worker at the Department of Health is arguing with me on Facebook, talking about that stuff don't need to be put out here. I need to talk to her talk to my brother behind the scene. I said that it was just
And you
shock.
say she got kids from him?
Only one son, which is the baby boy, but she had a bunch of big girls,
Uh-huh.
and they bodies was bigger than mine.
But you know what? When cause she got a different iron in the fire. And
Right.
you know what the other iron in the fire is, cause she got a kid from him. And that's a
No, I
see
look
and
at it the
people
other way. That will put a mirror in front of her. Like, if she's saying about her brother and my girl's been around, see, that would have to open up a can of worms for her brain to open up in a different manner. And that's the way I looked at it.
but
But you a social worker.
that's a double-edged sword right there, because she can get it from both ways, because you do know people find out that kind of information, and people say stuff to their kids that they don't think that will repeat
Yeah.
what they said, and they actually go to school and they repeat those things to other people kids and stuff. So that's like a double-edged sword for her, you know
Mhm.
um somebody going to school and saying that your daddy is this person or
Oh
whatever,
yeah. Mhm.
and,
I
and,
didn't
and
think about it like that. You're
yeah,
right.
so I'm saying that you gave me another side of it, because I was looking at it from that way, and then you said it in the way that you said it. So I'm like,
Yeah, I saw like that would make her question her parenting. But I'm like, if I'm a blood sister, we got the same mama, same dad, and I'm on here saying this,
right.
um, and you doubting me, and it was something you said earlier. It was small to you, but it's big to me.
Hmm.
No one ever calls me a liar. They always say she crazy.
Oh my God, that's the
They
favorite thing
never say I'm a liar. Nobody.
I get. You always so you know what I did to take
Uh-huh.
away the sting, because I remember the last time somebody said it, it just made me cry with frustration because I'm so tired of
Hmm.
going crazy. But I
Yep.
do this thing with my sister then, where I say to them, the name that aggravates you the most is the name that I give to you, because then I view it as we gonna take the sting out of it, because we talk about it and
Yeah.
we laugh about it. So guess what my name is? You the crazy one. So
Hmm.
since everybody called me crazy, then go ahead and call me crazy. I'll be the crazy one, but I bet you the crazy one telling the truth.
Yeah, and I look at it like that. I always say, but you can't call me no liar. That's what
Right.
I always say. Just like
Can't never tell me I'm telling a lie.
and then I had got triggered with my dad a couple of years back.
Hmm.
Um he had said something like, because somebody, all right, so I'm trying to make a long story short, but my nephew had slipped up and told me some stuff
Mm-hmm.
okay, hold on. I gotta tell the story. It ain't gonna be long though.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. When I went to jail for the IHOP shit, right?
Right. Okay.
So apparently nobody's supposed to know. All right. Only my mom came down, but she stayed gone for 30 days. So after a while, they was like something up. You know what I'm saying? So I believe they started realizing something was up. But my mom was telling me, did nobody know? Because she don't want to piss me off because she already know how I am.
Mm-hmm.
So long story short, everything over with, the case over with, life goes on. My nephew calls me randomly, maybe like 4 months later. Hey, auntie, I'm just calling to check on you, whatever. So he was making just random conversation. And I was like, what do you want? Because in my head, I'm thinking he calling because he's trying to fish for information. So he had fooled me. He was like, he didn't know shit. He just want to talk, you know? So we got to having a good conversation, you know, getting deep. And then finally he said, all right, auntie, I'm going to tell you something. Because me and him, we close in age. So we more like close versus auntie,
He's
nephew.
feeling
You know?
his way through the conversation. He don't know.
Yeah.
He don't know how to just come out and just say it. He easing into it.
And then he said, all right, auntie. Because I said, well, I'm going to tell you what happened. Man, I went to jail, blah, blah, blah. And then we started laughing. We talked about it. And so when I got there, he said, I'm going to tell you something. I knew about it. And I was like, oh, and at this point, I got pissed, but now I'm fishing for him. I said, oh, shit. I was like, how you know? Well, your brother, the molester, who always hated on me, he called such and such and showed them the video. And I said, this nigga, oh, excuse me. I know I'm trying to keep patience. I said, whether I'm young, old, it don't matter. This dude try to find some kind of way to just insert himself to add on to my life in a negative way. Like that's why, and it just further confirmed why I don't fool him. So long story short, I called my dad. And so I was giving him my grief. So I was like, well, I just talked to such and such. And he said that you guys was passing no video around and y'all acting like y'all didn't know what's going on. Y'all, and you know, and so he shut me down completely. He was like, man, ain't nobody got time for this. You know, I was about back up against the wall. He shut the conversation down. Like he didn't give me no room to move. So I said, okay. So I got up off the phone with him. I called my nephew back. I say, oh, okay, well, you know, my dad and my brother had your mama on three-way when she was crying and her husband kicked out the house and she needed somewhere to live and she was trying to move into the house and they kept making excuses not to give. So I started telling some business that I wasn't supposed to know about. You know what I'm saying? And so I put my dad and them on the spot. I said, yeah, my dad was on the phone. He was on three. They was sitting back laughing. And I'm giving details that I'm not supposed to know. Let my nephew know, number one, yeah, just like they talk about me to y'all, I know y'all too.
Y'all, right.
Exactly. I was trying to hit all the dogs at once.
Yeah.
And then I put them two on blast. My nephew got mad, then confronted, which is his grandfather, my father, confronted him and went off on him. And on purpose, I was being messy. And it hurt my heart because when my nephew called me back, he said, yeah, I just cussed granddad. I told that such and such, you know. And so then he said, I told him, I said, Susie said that you was talking about my mama. Then he said, this is what he said my dad said. He said, my dad said, you know, Susie just going through something. You know how Susie is going through. I said, see, there go that shit leading to Susie. It's crazy. That shit, it triggered me so bad.
You can't never just admit and say, yeah, I did say it. Yeah, I said I did.
Yeah, it's always you crazy. Or, you know, she going through. I ain't going through shit. I went to Shauna. I wasn't going through nothing.
Yeah,
that jail stuff long gone. I moved on. So why you gonna try to throw that in? That's another way for motherfuckers to be like, you crazy. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
But nobody ever says I'm a liar. No one ever says they'll always say she about her business, but they'll never call me a liar. But they'll try to roll in. You know how she is. You know how she is. She crazy. And that bothers the hell out of me. For family, not for random people. But I'm saying for them because, no, if I'm that crazy, say I'm lying on you.
That's what I'll be waiting on you to tell me where the lie is because I want to go down the whole story. We ain't going to skip over that. I'm going to tell you what you was eating, what kind of snack was on the table while we was talking.
You better say it. What you smelled like.
Hey, I can remember it all when I'll be ready for the conversation. But it's
Mm-hmm.
right then is where everybody want to shut me
Mm-hmm.
down. And the thing is, if I tell a story, everybody will be like, and they was there looking at the same thing that I was looking at.
Mm-hmm. But
And
they
it's
don't want to talk about it. That's what that is. They just don't want to
like,
talk about it. It's not like they don't know. They don't want to talk
and
about it.
God forbid if I turn around and say, now tell me you don't remember that day. Everybody be like,
Yep.
I
Yep.
be like, what is wrong with y'all? Like,
Oh,
y'all.
why are you still on that? That shit. Oh, get over it. Go past. That's man. You stuck on that. What's wrong with you?
And any other time they'll be all gangster beating in their hand and everything. And then when you get in front of
Mm-hmm.
your like, we ain't ready to tell each other the truth. Now
Mm-hmm.
I can't be around a whole bunch of people that can't stand you to tell the truth. And I'm like, the
Or
only
be
way
hanging
you
around
get
each other
people with
and
your
knowing
truth,
that there's dysfunction. Have
the
you ever
only way
seen a
you
bunch of
get people
dysfunctional
with your
people hang
truth,
around each other and they acting like it's all good? And you be looking like, I remember it's odd to see my mom and dad and all of us together because I'm like, I remember when he was knocking your head in. I remember when he was doing this and everybody just want to sit around act normal and be hugging. Hey, how you doing? I'm just sitting like, ew, like, I can't get past it.
but have they had I don't like to see it, especially when they be taking digs at each other behind the scenes, or they hadn't have had a conversation about what wrong happened in their relationship. I just see that like to be so fake. Especially like I got
Yeah.
a lot of family members, like something that happened between them, but then we get together or something, they kiki and laughing, and I just can't do that. It's like if I got
Yeah.
a if I got an issue with, I'm telling you, it's some family members that done got ready to get their hair done or something by me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll let you know. You can't sit in between my legs and get because in the
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
or your family member how you sit on the floor on the
Yeah.
floor or something.
Yeah.
You can't sit in between my legs and me, and you got a problem with each other. We got to work that out before you come and sit in my lap.
Some people don't know small things like that are very triggering. I remember my second ex-husband. I've been married twice. My second ex-husband, and I told this story before. And to some people it may be funny, to some people it may be sickening. But I've told this before. We was about to have an intimate moment. You know how you be playing around with each other, and I never date older. He was the first older guy I've ever dated. I've always dated younger. I've never liked old men or older men. Never liked it. Right. But he pulled the fast one on me, right? And so we was about to have an intimate moment, right? Girl, we playing around or whatever, talking noise or whatever. Girl, he gonna get close. We gonna talk. He gonna I gotta say it the right way because I don't want to mess your page up. So he gonna pull out his tool, right? And
Uh-huh.
he gonna talk about kiss the baby. I said, oh hell no! What is you talking about? Oh hell
Oh,
no, baby! I was so triggered. It was I'm talking about it when everything just dried up. The river just dried, baby. It was over with. I could not do it. I don't want to hear about no mini me, no kiss, no baby, no my little cousin right here, my miniature friend, my little ding ding. Baby, that did something to my damn psyche, boo. I couldn't do it. No
yeah,
ma'am. Ain't no
yeah.
kissing no
I
baby. What
mean,
are you talking about, buddy?
yeah.
No
Yeah, I
ma'am.
just that's one of them things that you don't need to ask for. That's like something that's earned.
No, but all I heard was baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what? No, I can't do it. I
I'm
couldn't
going.
do it.
Hey, let me thank I see some new people in the live and everything. Thank you
They
all
done
for
fell out the bushes,
thank,
child.
yeah, thank you all for coming over and everything. And you
Girl.
got any questions or anything, or you feel like you need to hit the panel, come on, join in. We just conversating over here. We go up and down on the conversations, but
Yeah.
yeah, him
But
and
he didn't understand why that was triggering to me. And it's hard to I get tired of re-explaining certain things to certain people. It's like you
yeah,
have to go through life, just keep repeating and explain. Oh, I felt like this because it is, not knowing, or like I was dating somebody who was walking around my house with his shirt off. We know men can walk around the shirt. I don't like that. I was like, I have a daughter here. You don't walk around with no shirt on. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But
I'm like I do the same thing. Is like it's
mhm,
like if the same way that you teach girls respect for themselves, I also
Yeah.
feel like there's certain. I feel like that too. It makes it. Sometimes my son will walk inside of my house and he doesn't have a shirt on. He doing yard work or whatever.
Yeah.
But and it is offensive to me sometimes. But I also
Mhm.
understand. You know, he a man out, and I don't let it go on for too long. But it's like if you walking through and walking back out the door, then you go on
Yeah.
ahead. But I believe in the same way.
Yeah.
I'll say this: the same way you try to teach your girls to hang on to their virginity. Can we say
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
I raised my boys with that same mentality because I can't believe that if you want to teach if you want to teach your girls to hang on to that, you should also teach your boys the same thing. You know, and it
Oh,
doesn't
I
mean.
ain't never think about it like that. Cause see, with my son, I'd be like, oh, we need to give him some
But why
snatch,
would
you
you
know. So,
why
but
would you teach the boys something different if it's what you're trying to teach your girls?
no,
If
you
you want,
making a great point. But let me tell
yeah.
you, that I'll be real with you. You know, I mean, if we could have a real conversation with that, a lot of times parents, you know, let me speak for myself. A lot of times people be so scared of, you know, the LGBT thing because it's
Hmm.
so rampant now.
Right.
Shit, you definitely be trying to sit your kid on the boy on some snatch because
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, because the influence and stuff out here, it's popular to be this, you know. Now you get more attention if you're this, you know, and that's some real stuff.
Yeah, I just even today is like I was just some things that I look at and then me and my husband agree on is like I look at the little dances and things that the little girls be doing and everything, and I think sometimes us women we think of things as that's cute, that's a nice little dance or whatever, but I think we don't have the other side of what are the men and the people that's watching, because you know people can be watching from anywhere, and if you just knew some of the things that some of these people were thinking in their mind as your children out there pop locking and dropping everywhere, you
But
would
who doing more pop lock and dropping, the little girls or the little boys?
well both of them is in my
That's what I'm saying. It's either
so,
it's either equal. Or the boys doing more pop lock and dropping than the girls at this point.
yeah, but for me, like I said, I didn't have, as a mother hovering over my kids, I didn't have a higher standard for my girls than I did my boys. I maintained the same standard. This is what I want, and this is what I'm trying to get you to, because and everybody got they different
Yeah.
things. Mine was so into that right there because
Mm-hmm.
I was a teenage mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of things happened to me while I was young, and I also knew that I don't ever want my
Something
kids
was
to
activated in
experience.
you earlier than what it was
Right,
supposed to be activated in you.
absolutely. And so I didn't want my kids to experience what it was like
Mm-hmm.
having kids as a kid.
Yeah.
So when I tell you I went full throttle making sure that I got all of my kids past the age of 18 before a baby, and I don't care
Yeah.
what that meant to anybody else, for me, that was a trophy for me to run across the finish line with, is
Yeah.
that so far all of my kids have made it without having that experience. I just didn't want
Yeah.
my kids.
You need to take notes, like write that topic down,
Mhm.
having the same standards for your sons as daughters. That would be a great topic
Yeah.
because like for me, I put more pressure on my daughter versus
Yeah.
my son, you know, as far as I don't know. And then I saw Jada Pinkett at the Red Table Talk. Her daughter said, Willow said that her mother was more hard on her than she
Mhm.
was on her brother. And she was trying to explain to her why she was more hard. And I understood what Jada was saying without her even being able to properly um make her understand. I got, she said, you don't understand. Women have it harder. Women have to do more. We have to be more. So I expected more. I want you to be more tough. And
Mhm.
and really I did the same thing I was mad at my mom about. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying, oh, you treated my brothers like babies. My mom still wash my brother's clothes and stuff like that. You know, they bring their dirty laundry from their house and she wash. And I mean, she enjoys. She have no problem doing that. You know, that's just, you know. But I was always so much tougher. You know, didn't want to be. And so when I think about my daughter, she, she really is me, and I'm her. I'm looking at a mirror of myself. She want to fly. What they say, the cage. What they say, what happens when the cage birds stop singing? You know.
Yeah, I just because almost everything that I talk about, I always try to keep in the front of my mind, girl, you got sons out here. And
Yeah.
in any conversation that I'm having, my first thing is I want to answer quick, but then I have to
Yeah.
stop and pause and think for myself, okay, how am I going to answer this? Because I
Yeah.
got sons out here, and if I agree that a girl should do X, Y, and Z, then I also have to agree that it's good for my son.
Exactly. You're right.
You
You're
know, so
right.
early on in my life, I realized that there wasn't going to be a standard. I wanted my boys to keep their virginity just as well as I wanted my girls to, because I believe either way, when you connecting with somebody, you connect with them.
Yeah. You see
You
what
know,
Cass is saying in the chat? That's what they said in the South right there. The girls have to bring the babies home. The boys
absolutely,
don't,
they
and
bring them home.
that's what
The
they used to say.
boys, the
Mm.
boys can, what they say,
Mama's baby, daddy's
mama's
maybe.
baby, daddy's maybe.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So
Mm.
you just don't know. But I didn't care whichever way that it went. I definitely
Hmm.
did not want I didn't want it for none of my sons, and I definitely didn't want it for any of my daughters. And so far, thank you, Jesus, I done made it past that. I got three more to go. So,
Mm.
and if it did ever cross me, I'll cross that barrier when I get
When
there.
they come, yeah.
Yeah, I'll
I
cross
just,
it when it get
yeah. I and to me with that, the most important part of that is like because I was a teenage mom as well, just like yourself. I was pregnant at 15, had my son at 16. And I had a lot of people looking down on me. Um, think about I'm a preacher's kid, so it's like, what the heck? Man, my dad was mad as hell. But my mom was upset. My mom cried about it the first day she found out about it. But after that, she went into like mommy mode. She had a talk with everybody, was telling them make sure they show me respect. Don't dog me out because I already got a battle, you know. Then think about telling another 15, 16-year-old you pregnant. You got to go to his mama. That became an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you know? Their mom like, your son at my house every day. What is you talking about? He always, that was a whole nother level, you know. So it was a lot, and you don't know the kind of pressure a person can handle. That's why I said I know I can handle a lot of pressure.
Mhm.
I've never had a thought of saying I didn't want to be in this world. I want to take myself out, and I've had a lot of things. Some people wouldn't even be able to walk in my shoes. Like they
Yeah,
could look at me and say, "Oh, she got it going on," or "She this and that." You don't know the shit that I carry inside my head, even like current stuff. Like you just don't know what somebody's going through. So I just feel like I ain't gonna say I can't never be one of those people who don't want to be on this earth, but I never said I don't want to live. But when I tell you I've had so much stuff, I had so much stuff in my head before, I felt like I was gonna faint. Memory loss. Have you ever been so stressed out you lose memory? You ever been so stressed out you had to stop and catch yourself?
let me tell you something. Yes, I absolutely have. I have been to the place of just yeah, I all of those things that you just said, I have
Mm.
absolutely absolutely have been there.
When I
And
get overwhelmed, I lose memory.
I'm gonna say this right here. I've had a time that things were so rough for me. I didn't say that wanted to take my life, but there was times that I didn't want to be here. But not the if that makes
I get
sense.
what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Not that I would want it to do it to myself, but it was like, Lord,
It's a thought of, is it somewhere else better than this right here?
exactly. That's what I'm trying to
Uh-huh.
say. So
Hmm.
it has been times where I just feel like, Lord, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
Not that,
Mm.
and you know what? When I got to those times, I feel like because, um, I cried out and I cried out to God that
Mhm.
somebody was always in the right place when I thought I couldn't do it no more.
Mhm.
Um, and a lot of that time came when I was able to open up my mouth and say something to somebody. It's been times I've been hanging on a thread. Somebody done walked in my room and I just gave birth or whatever. And she was walking out and wouldn't have no idea that on her way walking out of the room, I was literally in tears, like reaching out for her as if she can see me behind her head, begging,
Yeah.
Please
Wow.
don't leave me. And she don't know to this day. I never told her, but I actually was reading in my one of my old journals today. And when I read it, Lord, it broke my heart to feel what it felt like on that day. It's like I was
Mm.
going through postpartum depression. And I was so embarrassed about being in that place. I didn't even know how to say, and I know my sister-in-law
Mhm.
would have received it and she would have stayed there. By God, she was
Mhm.
even working there at the hospital. So it's
Yeah.
like whatever was happening in me, I wasn't strong enough to say to her, please don't leave me right now at this moment.
You
So
see what J Mac just said in the chat?
the
I
memory
believe that.
protect you from yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, like I literally had to have a conversation with my doctor about that before. I said sometimes I get overwhelmed. You know how you talk when you start having the brain farts and fumbling. I'm like, what the
Yep.
heck? And I have like short term. The other day I was live, I was kind of doing a little bit. I said, I couldn't even think of the VFW, like the basic stuff that I see and know, like I was trying to explain some of my military stuff, but before I got to where I'm at now, as far as my benefits and stuff,
Mhm.
that was a stressful situation. I almost feel like my brain didn't want to work. It was like, stop talking about that. We passed that. We here now, because I really don't like discussing that because I was going through some bad moments where I had to work. And I'm telling these people, I'm hurt. Something is wrong with me. I need meds. I need this. I need that. And it's
Mhm.
like me trying to re-talk about to try to give people my testimony. I was losing. I couldn't even think of everything.
Yeah, because everything be trying. Sometimes I feel like when you're trying to think about something, that's why I told you. Sometimes I have to sit with it and think about it for a minute because sometimes when you open the gate for one thing to
Yeah.
let loose, it's like a
Yeah.
thousand things be trying to jump out at the same time. It's like, wait a minute, you gotta corral
Exactly.
it back in the gate. You get back in there. I ain't ready to release you just yet.
Yeah.
It'd be like that for me. And that's why when I come on here and I say it's so distracting when I come in and I start talking to everybody because I want to talk to everybody. I do.
Yeah.
But I know the minute that I start talking to the people in the chat, I'm gonna lose focus. And
Yeah.
somebody in the chat can say something and it'll trigger something else that made me remember something
Yep.
else. I'll be talking about that before I talk about what I came on to say today. And
Yeah.
that's why I came on and I say, let me get this story out of me and then I'll go and talk after that,
Mhm.
you know. But I already know I can have 1,000 conversation in one conversation. You see how we started in one
Yeah.
place, we over here on this thing,
Uh-huh.
all making sense at the same time. Good topics, all at the same.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm. But I definitely believe those defense mechanisms, and this is what I said. One day I hope we could have a conversation like a married woman, which is yourself, and a single woman like myself. I've been married, but I'm single. And like when you speak about your downtime or your moments you having,
mhm,
and when you was talking, and this may be selfish of me, but
right.
I was really thinking, but she had a husband. You had somebody you could talk to. But what about a person who don't have nobody to talk to? See, I don't have a mate. Your mate's supposed to be your strength. Now, whether you're your strength or not, I'm just saying that's what it's supposed to be. You got somebody you can talk to. And I'm saying, like, for me, it's like shit. Well, I don't even
But
have that. I talk to
what if
God,
I
you
said
know.
this? What if I said this to you? What if you have a husband, but you don't really know how to have a husband? You got the help, but you don't know how to accept the help because when you raised by a single parent, you
Hmm.
know how to do single parent things. So in life, everything that I've been taught, it came
Hmm.
from my single mom. So she was like a superhero. She tried to do everything.
Hmm.
And he came from a single mom So he look at her as superhero. The only thing I need to do is go out and make the money. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I'm learning now after I've been through all these things, um, to understand that I do have a partner. And it's not necessarily that it's the man that's not willing to do it. It's just that you don't know how to trust a person to
That-
do it. Because see, there's a
Mhm.
difference when you grow up with a man in the house
Mhm.
and you don't have one that grow in the house. And everything you done learned
Facts.
to do is wrong.
Facts.
So
That's true. Oh, I gotta write this down. That's true. That's a topic right there.
a lot of things I don't know how to do because I was raised by, like,
Mhm.
say if my boys or something get in trouble, I'm not going to, because my mama raised me, you know, and
Mhm.
I got an older brother. So my mama didn't go and look for no man to give my brother no whooping or no nothing when when it needed to be done. It
Had to
was
put them dukes up.
mama handled things. And
Yeah.
so because that's the example that I saw, whatever I needed to handle, I handled myself. I didn't wait for my husband to come home to tell him or whatever. And then because I don't know how a man moves, when I hear the boom of my husband's voice, it also scares me into I don't want to tell him. But also at the same
Uh-huh.
time, I'm looking at him as I'm
Being
raising my
protected mode.
boys.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? My husband looking at him like, no, I'm raising my men.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know how to be a man. And so I thank God that I had peace enough to back down and let my husband do his job, because in the beginning I was like, my boys couldn't go outside and get their feet dirty. And
Mm.
so
Now let me jump in before you go into that, move into another topic that.
uh-huh.
But as a single person, now this the debate. Now this is what we're gonna go back and forth now. You had the option.
Mm-hmm.
You get that? You had the option to say, I'm going to accept this help or I'm not going to accept this help. You
Mm-hmm.
have some women who carrying all this shit on their back. We don't have the option. You get what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep. But
So I get what you're saying totally, because I had the moment to see. That's what people don't know. What make VS Susie and what makes Susie VS. I had that balance. I had that man energy in the house. My dad is a man's man, and then I had my mother, that prissy, submissive. So I know what it's like to be upset. See, I take more after my father than my mother. I
mhm.
never want to be like my mother because I said, oh, she's too nice, too sweet. Nice people get their ass. See, this goes back to the childhood trauma. Being too nice, you get beat up. So
Yeah.
now I'm being more of the manly protective mode, but I also know how to be submissive like my mom if I wanted to, but that ain't the route I'm going. I want to go the route of I'm a fight, or I'm gonna stand for what I want. I took more of my father traits than my mother. I took my mother's smarts, but definitely my father's energy, and that's the energy I was talking to us about.
Mm-hmm.
The anger, the boisterous, the deep, that manly energy. I am my father. I look like my mom, but I am my father.
Right. And you know what? When you talk about your mom, I always think of, there's a reason for everything a person do, whatever they do.
Hmm.
And maybe everything, the reason she moved the way she moved is because of what she saw in her life. She just ain't never shared it. She just ain't don't share those stories. Because
Oh, she
those
carried
people,
it. She been through it.
yeah, those people, they're definitely not as comfortable as some of us these days with talking about that, because that's taboo. You don't tell about nothing that happened in your family. You take that to your
Mhm.
grave and know none
That's
of that.
true.
And which is the reason why a lot of the things that's happened in all of these communities is because
Mhm.
we walk around with that mentality.
Yeah.
Um and I just find it to be a big disservice that we feeding that monster to protect them, versus protect who we was put here to protect, and which is
But
our
why do we protect them though? That's the thing. Because they're our sons, they're our nephews and uncles, and
Right.
And we've always been trained to protect the men in our family. Okay, let's handle it on the inside because we don't want them to go to jail, because jail they might get raped and this and that and whoop, you know what I'm saying? So and I get it. Like even with my mom, I understand the battle. My mom, well, it ain't really no battle because she chose a side, but I understand the battle of a mother. That unconditional love is
Right.
strong as hell.
Yep.
Ain't nothing gonna break that unconditional love. My mother, my mama said on tape, my brother's her favorite child. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that was her firstborn, first child. Like that's like one of them unbreakable bonds. You know, so once she got him to acknowledge and apologize, it's almost like, okay, now can we be family? Can we move on? And it's not that simple.
Yeah, no, because the apology is about making the person that done what they did feel better. It doesn't take away that you was on the
Mhm.
receiving end of what happened. It doesn't
Yeah,
change it. It's like somebody hitting you with a car and telling you they sorry. It doesn't mean that the
you
broken
still,
bones
yeah,
suffered or whatever
mhm,
that went away. No, I can still feel. I'm still feeling the
yeah.
effects of what you did to me.
And if you can make it go away, you would snap your finger and make it go away. It's not that
Right,
easy.
right. Ain't no hanging on to it because nobody don't want to walk around and
It's not
have
even something you want to talk about. That's not a pretty story to tell
right,
people. But I
right.
feel like the strong people are able to tell their stories because they want to save the next person.
Yeah. Yep. And that's what I say is that if I can take what happened to me and talk about it to help somebody free their own self.
Yeah. You take the shame out of it. That's what
Yeah.
it is. You take the shame out of it. Because I'm like I tell these people online, yeah, I be arguing with people on here, I'm like, you can't make me motherfucking shame about something happened to me when I was helpless. It
Okay.
can't happen
Right.
now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was a child. That's stupid. Like that don't make sense. So that doesn't really bother me. I know how things work, like on this online stuff. And plus I've said some real nasty things to people too. I get it.
Hmm.
So if you give, you gotta be able to take it. But the beautiful thing about my story is, if you want to put beauty on it, is I'm not ashamed.
Yeah.
And you don't know how many guys I've dated who I've told that story to.
Hmm.
I kid you not, to Shauna, the damn guys would tell me it happened to them too. Man, as a recent during COVID, I was dating somebody, and one of the guys I was dating, I ain't gonna say his name, but I was telling my story. He was like, yeah, I had something like that happen to me before too. Like and it was like people be so comfortable telling me even me, I had men will sit there and cry to me, you
Hmm.
know, and I won't mention no more.
And I think that's an amazing thing because I think it's harder for the men to admit it, especially
Mhm.
when they still trying to live the life as a straight man
Mhm.
because that plays with
Yeah.
their psyche a lot.
Yeah, one of them is a police officer right now, and we still talk,
You
behind scenes, just
know,
small talk, nothing serious.
to say that, yeah. Um, and if a man can say it to you, then he done fell into a place where he believes it's a safe space. Because I don't know a lot of men that
Yeah, I get them all the time,
mostly
Tashana.
most yeah, mostly women will talk about it and release it. But wow.
The men, I literally have the men that tell, and here's the kicker: I don't look at them no different though. That's the thing. And a lot of stuff I will throw back if somebody pissed them off, but that right there, I hold that sacred. I don't ever throw that. I haven't, knock on wood, I haven't as of yet threw that back at them. And I almost feel honored that they've comfortable enough to even share something like that with me.
Mhm.
So
And
definitely.
I seen somebody just wrote and she said, yes, boys and men have to be protected too. I
Mhm.
remember one time because a lot of people that I live next to, they don't know my or insinuate.
Tashana, is that your computer breaking up or is that me over here?
That's
I don't
probably
know if you're
mine
going
because
in and out.
we having a storm over here.
Oh, okay, because I was missing. I was trying to make sure with my computer. Okay, go ahead.
No,
All right.
it's definitely me. It's storming outside, it's thundering and lightning and everything.
Be
So
safe.
um jokingly, because I don't know, I ain't never had nobody try me like that with my kids, but one of my neighbors jokingly said something about,
Don't ever say that to Shauna,
yeah.
please.
Well, she was well, I'm about to tell you
Please
why.
don't ever say that.
I'm about to tell you why I said it that way, because I'm telling you, because I'm finna tell you about what my reaction was to it. She said to me that my son looked real nice, and like she was giving him a compliment, like he was an adult. And at the time he was like
Mm,
16, but he played football and everything. And when she let the comment come out of her mouth, girl, I jumped on her like the
mm.
nightmare from Elm Street. And I told her, I said, if you ever in your life make another comment about my son like that, I said, because girl, I would even
Yeah,
not even thinking about putting your
yeah,
hands on my son. So girl, don't even play like that. And let me
yeah.
tell you something, she ain't never ever, but she ain't somebody who I would tell them. I never allowed my kids to go over and sit in other people's house or know none of that. But honey,
Yeah. No, but I'm saying you
yeah,
got some kids wait till they become adults. You
huh?
got some kids that wait till they become adults to tell their parents things. I
Right,
never told my parents anything happened to me.
right,
They never would have guessed. I waited till I was like 23, 24 and started and got pissed off and told them something, told my mom or whatever. So kids will hold secrets. They will.
right.
Now I'm not saying it for you. I'm just saying in general. Just don't ever say it can't happen. They won't hold a secret because
Right. I know. I
it'll
definitely
mess
know
you
that.
up when they hit you with it.
Yeah, yeah. I just no. For me, I don't play around with nobody. I wouldn't tell nobody that about their young kid joking or no stuff like
Yeah.
that. I don't play with no stuff like that. I'm very sensitive when it come down to
Yeah.
dealing with people that's right there in my face, to be able to say something
Mhm.
about my kids in that way. And I'm
Mhm.
always like, I'm not that one that see, sometimes I be my kids go to the park and they think they be over to the park by their own self. Honey, I'll be done snuck
You
out
be
there.
watching through the window
Hey, I don't went and sat in my
behind a
car.
tree.
I'm sitting in my car. They don't even recognize I done sat in my car. I'm sitting there journaling or on the computer or
Watching.
whatever I'm doing. I'm watching
Mhm.
everything they got going on, and I can tell them,
At least I ain't the only crazy person. Look,
yeah,
you be
no,
making me feel
kids
so uncrazy.
try to tell you something that happened over there, and you sitting right there watching, and then I can turn around and say to you, "Yeah, I just saw everything that happened over there," and I can name to
Mhm.
them what it is. And sometimes they'll walk away in shame because they trying to tell you a lie or something. I was like, "Nah,
Mhm.
I seen everything that just happened over there, and
Yeah.
go on head back and play right, or whatever." So, no, no, I
Yeah.
absolutely haven't caught
Yeah.
everything. I'm telling you, I've raised 14 children. There's
Yeah.
absolutely no way I could have caught it. But the one thing I know for sure is my kids gonna know that I when I
Yeah.
swing and bang and trying to prevent anything from happening to
Yeah.
that. Because
One of my biggest things with people who have a few kids or a lot of kids,
mhm.
you even have to watch your kids with each other, boys and girls, because
Absolutely,
kids are
absolutely,
curious. People, oh, this sister and brother. No, no, no.
yes,
And it's no down to you or the kids, but kids get curious, kids get bored. Idle mind is the devil's workshop. We have human feelings, our hormones, you know it, you have things that people, the mama and daddy game is probably the oldest game in the motherfucking book. Okay, and believe anybody can be a participant of the mama and daddy game. The hide and go get. Anybody can be a participant of it. you
hey,
you
you
have to
talking
be
about some
careful.
antennas go up when you get. Let me tell you something. 'Cause, see, I know what that game entails, because
Ah,
imagine, and especially when you come from where we come from. Yes,
yeah.
it was 14 children. If you've been touched, then 9 times out of 10, whatever kids you play with, you probably gonna try and play the game because you've already been taught it. You don't even know what you're doing, but it's something that automatically happens. And one thing that piqued my interest is when I hear kids playing and they say, "Let's play mom and daddy."
Yep,
Honey,
girl.
I ain't moving nowhere because I want to see how y'all gonna play this. It ain't going
Or
down up in
doctor.
here.
Let's
Let's
play
see how
doctor.
this gonna go.
No
No,
doctor. That
nah,
and then
ain't none
what's
of
the
them
what's
games.
what's the one game? I put an X in your hand, and there's only one way you can open up your hand by touching somebody's butt. Have you ever heard that one?
Oh, Oh, well, let me say what I was gonna say. Hell no.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a
Have you heard that?
hey, that's a different one. But that doctor and
Yeah.
let's play house. That's one
Uh-huh.
right there.
Yep.
When I hear
Yep.
those two right now, honey, child, I'm all in. Let me see how we gonna play this. And then
Yeah.
my friend used to tell me back in the day that they used to play tag and stuff. But she said the game that they used to be playing, she said they used to play the game tag, and that if a boy can tag you, then he get to hump you. He get,
Yeah.
not with your with,
I
with
know.
young game. She said what she
Yeah.
saw back in the days was the girls was letting the boys catch them so they can.
Uh-huh.
She
You
was like,
better say it.
I was playing a different game, honey. She was like, my period stayed on, and she said I wasn't letting no boys catch me. And she was like,
Well, I was one of them little fast kids. That's how I know all the games, goddamn it. I
yeah,
was
but
right
you
there
don't
playing.
got many people that's willing to tell the part of you being the fast person because see, I was the fast person too because of where I came from.
Yeah.
You know, I
And
after
sometimes you trying to fit in. You know
yeah,
what I mean? You want to
and
fit
after
in.
a point, you only see that there's like maybe there's one purpose for my life, and it's like everybody who touch you, it's almost like it's an honor that they touching you or something.
Yep.
Until you are
Yep.
taught that no,
That's not love. That's not good.
exactly. But when you start off that way, that's the illusions. And I mean, there's so many things can go wrong. Because do you know that somebody touching on you at that age, and you know what a boyfriend or girlfriend is supposed to be in a warped sense of way,
Mhm.
that person starts to begin to feel like they your boyfriend or something.
Yeah.
In a it is a warped sense of way of thinking, but when you're a kid, you don't know that it's wrong. You know.
Let me make mention, and me even mentioning this is gonna be so triggering.
Mhm.
Oprah Winfrey was doing a show where she was interviewing pedophiles,
Yeah.
and the man said something so profound. He said, "A true pedophile knows how to make it not hurt."
Mm.
You can molest somebody. See, when you think about molest, you thinking about beating down, penetration, and busting and sodomize.
Nope.
He said that ain't how you do. He said you gotta the best pedophile knows how to do without causing pain. And that when I tell you that stuck out in my head so bad.
It
Some
is
kids out here getting
absolutely
touched
true.
on and you don't even know it because they might just come across you and touch one titty, and that's a full-fledged assault on the
Mhm.
child. And you thinking because we up here, our kids come home, what we do put you checking them physically, you looking for impressions and beat downs. You get what I'm saying when I say
And
that?
a
But
lot
it
of
has been
parents,
a regular touch.
explain it to if somebody hurt you. You can't explain it to your child in that way because everything that's
Yes,
done wrong to them, it's not a hurt. It can be
exactly.
because the good feeling is just as worse as the pain is because
Exactly.
imagine you getting
Yes.
something that feels good to you. Your young mind don't know what to do with that,
Yeah,
but
he said that didn't hurt. He didn't do nothing to
yeah,
me.
it was
It
good.
did.
So you asking did something hurt? You asking all the wrong questions or telling them all the wrong things. You
Yeah,
definitely don't mention nothing to about what hurt. Just point blank period. They touching
exactly.
any of those places that they
Right
want
in
to.
those spots.
So, yes, period.
Oh yeah. I mean, and these are serious, but it's hard even being there in that position before. It's hard to even explain it to your kids. It's hard to even say
Right.
it. To even get them to fully like it's like you say how you're finishing off some of my sentences. I don't have to
Hmm.
say the full thing. You already say, "Oh, I know what you're talking about," before I can even
Yep.
get it out because you already know you've experienced that bad situation, so
Right.
we can relate. It's an unsaid thing. We ain't even have to go that deep. You get it. It may be some people in the chat that haven't experienced it. They don't get it and they confused. But we ain't confused because all the ones who've had those things happen, we can finish each other's sentences off. We don't
Yeah,
have to go no further.
I see in the chat, Cassie, you talked about, and that Cassie, that was definitely that was a show that I used to watch back in the day. So I absolutely know what you're talking about. When she said the 19 kids and counting,
Oh yeah.
should I say her?
Yep. Yep.
Well, yeah, I was sure watching them back in the days. And honey, you talking about some who crashed me down to the ground, and they was trying to hide it at first, and
Yep.
the kids came out with it, and I'm
And
like,
told it. Mhm. And
yeah,
just
I
think
remember
about it. They
that.
was steady feeding them, steady having them kids and feeding it to the damn monster. I bet he was happy when them kids was coming. You know what I'm saying? That was
Man,
crazy.
absolutely. Yeah, Cassie, I remember that when I used to watch them faithfully. Cause I had so many kids and stuff. So I was like, I needed something to get inspiration from, but I couldn't believe when that happened.
And then
Um,
the scary stuff too is like man, the conversation could go so deep because I hate watching them jail documentaries and gang documentaries because the rituals and stuff they do now they become gay. You know what I'm saying? They be doing gay rituals. The men, gangster men. I guess maybe because if we do this, then people ain't gonna know. You could keep a secret. You know what I'm saying? They have like these deep rituals they do. Like I was watching that movie with Idris Elba in it.
mhm.
The oh god, it's when about those soldiers, the young soldier boys, right? I thought the movie was just gonna be about Africans. It was like some African movie. You know how they tear up the villages and they were snatching up all the kids and making them soldiers.
Yeah, I
And
know what you're talking about. It was
mm,
like it was almost like the light skin versus the dark skin or something over there.
uh 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 uh
And the Tootsie Royce, because I watched that when they were doing that, turning the little kids into soldiers, and it was like the light skin versus the dark skin over in Africa.
I ain't see that.
Yeah.
This was what I okay. No, I don't think this was it. But the
Okay.
point of the story is, I'm thinking I'm watching a regular movie. It was already bad that they was killing the kids' parents, and he began raising the kids like his own, but they was his soldiers or whatever. Once he did the basic training with them, the final training was they go into his room one by one, and he would rape them.
Oh my.
Yeah. Do y'all know the name of that movie, y'all? It was in the movies. It pissed me off because I'm thinking I'm watching a regular movie, and then I did not expect that part of the movie to happen. Hold on, I'm gonna have
Hmm.
to Google it real quick.
I see. Cassie say, and another thing. This is what Cassie say. She said I was shocked because I used to be jealous of how perfect their life was. Ooh, Cassie, you ain't the only one
It's
because
called Beast of No Nation. Beast of
beast,
No Nation. When
beast
I
of
tell
no
you that movie caught me off guard so bad, girl. Ooh, because it was like one of those regular, almost like Tears of the Sun type movie, almost like a Hotel
nation.
Rwanda. And then I'm thinking it was gonna be something similar to that. Girl, I'm thinking that okay, they finally made it through. He called them up one by one. You thinking the boy finna get a private trophy or something? The boy come walking out the room limping, girl, because
Mm,
the man done sodomized him. And in the
wow.
movie, that's when he said that. They were saying like that's when they realized. So everybody got this done to them who's a soldier now. It's like yeah, every one of them. It was girl. That was a hard to watch. What I said name was it? Beast of No Nation, girl.
It
Mm-mm.
was, it was something that was happening like that. But this was a movie that they did on. It's BT like there was this. I think Tyler Perry did it.
Girl, I knew you was finna say it.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I know what you talking about. That's one of my favorite shows, girl.
Girl, that
Uh, girl, I'm having a brain freeze right now. I know it with the call. But what's the name of it?
it was about a cult. It sure was. That thing right there didn't bother that. I say I had to stop watching that at a certain point because after I found out like all the yeah, child, that was, and then just like the women they couldn't get out and stuff like that, and I was just like, this too
Yeah,
much for me.
they would just use them
So,
as prostitutes.
yeah, that was hard. That was hard. That show was hard for me to watch. But where Cassie said she was shocked because she used to
Oh, it's
be
called
jealous of him.
Ruthless. Ruthless.
Ruthless. That's right.
Yep, girl, I watched every episode. Somebody told me about. I got to be honest. I got hooked on it. Because
Yeah.
it was just going in all kinds of places with this. I'm like, what the hell?
Yep. My sister helped me on to that, and I
Mhm.
watched it for so long, but then I had to back off of it because it was
Well,
too
honey,
much.
it got worse and worse, child.
Yeah. But what I was gonna say about what Cassie had put up here, that she used to be jealous of them. Well, when I was
Jealous
watching
of who?
huh?
Jealous of who?
The Duggars,
Oh
because
wow.
what they was presenting on TV, I
Mm.
couldn't understand. It's like you don't never ever. I'm like, I don't know how they do it. It's like she don't never raise her voice. I just can't imagine having. She had all them kids. I can't imagine you don't never ever raise your voice. They don't ever
Mm.
ever get out of line. And I think when the whole thing broke, it was like it broke the illusion of everything that was happening there. And I was just trying to think of, I wanted to be more of a parent like that I didn't have to fuss and argue and everything. But also I had
Girl, they're supposed to be
questions.
fussing behind the scenes. That shit don't.
I
Girl,
had
let me.
questions
Girl.
of, was it an illusion that it was happening? Because
Mm-mm.
I just, and sometimes when you growing up in the Black community,
Yeah.
you looking over at the grass on the other side, and it ain't necessarily green over there. It looks
Mhm.
like it is. So and I just think it's that way in whichever culture or whichever background
Mhm.
you got. We can all be looking over each other fence, and because you think the grass is green over there, it ain't necessarily green, because you don't know what all is happening over there. So
Mhm.
at a
Tashana,
certain,
my friend Jennifer,
huh?
my friend Jennifer who had, well, my old friend Jennifer, my childhood friend who jumped in my TikTok chat the other morning. Was you on
Mhm.
there?
No, I wasn't in there when I wasn't in there with
Oh
that.
yeah. I don't know how these people find me on TikTok. It's crazy. I ain't seen her in like 20 plus years. But she used to be jealous of me because she see the mom and dad at the big house. They got
Hmm.
these cars, and then her mom was a minister, but the stepfather was on crack. They was very poor, had no food. I mean, it was bad, but we bonded, we trauma bonded because she had the things I wanted, and I would look at her like, her family seemed to get along. I want the things that she wanted, whatever. And she got to see the inside scoop. Oh, there's Pastor such and such and his wife, and it's so quiet, and they just don't even know the kind of hell
She had
that
an
went
illusion of
on
what
in the
she
house.
thought was happening inside of your house.
Yeah, I would tell her, and she just was like, "What?" That's why I said I was telling. Like, I actually went off on her. She ain't gonna come around. She blocked me or whatever,
Mhm.
because it's some things she did that was not stand up. And I'm like, girl, I ain't finna act like I don't let shit like that ride. You know what I'm saying? But if anybody want to know any of my deepest, darkest secrets or anything, that
Mhm.
girl know. And I told them, I said, Jennifer, you can tell them whatever, because I already tell my own tea. There's nothing someone can tell on me that I have not eventually said here online to anybody. I think the
Right,
most embarrassing thing would have been being, my oldest brother being to me, a pervert, you know.
right,
So beyond that, it's like you have nothing. I'm an open book. You can't hurt me with my truth, because I'm gonna do how you doing, how you tell your story. I'm gonna do the same thing you do. I'm tell my story. You can't hurt me with what I already put out there. And
right,
and that's your power, Tashana. Like with your family and them or whatever, they can't really use nothing against you because life goes on. But it's like, what can you say? You was a hoe, or you was loose, you had a baby early, you got all them kids, you ain't your mammy, what I'm saying? You ain't got but then look at you now. You got all this land, Tashana. You got farm animals. You raised your kids. You got kids in college. Even your son, seeing how your son was helping you do your YouTube stuff and get your stuff together. You know what I'm saying? Seeing you got a studio. I'm just naming some. And we have bad things going on, but I'm talking about all the good stuff. I bet you them same
right,
people who supposed to be all that and then some, you living better than them. They like, how Tashana get this? And then I'm gonna let you in on something. I guarantee they bring up that ain't hers. That's that man she with. She didn't do that by herself. It's the man. She
yeah.
using him.
And guess what? It had a whole hell of a lot to do with that man. It
Mm,
sure did. He showed me that I could have a different standard for my life.
amen.
And everything that came along with it, and everything that I did, I still work for
Mm.
everything that I got.
Mm-hmm.
I still
Mm-hmm.
work for. So if they want to give the credit to that man is me, and I am that man. So
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and throw it on over there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and guess what? It's still, no matter what, if they look at it in that way, I still be trying to pull them towards where it is that I'm going.
Right,
Because,
trying to help them.
yeah, because I want better for my family. Not that I'm saying I'm better than any of them, but I know where they are right now. I know it's better for them. I don't, for me myself, I wish you to climb higher than what I could ever go. I don't want you to get in the same place I want. I want you to grab onto it, and I want you to keep on climbing, baby. I don't want you to stop where I'm at. I want what is good for you. But I heard you say one time, sometimes when you growed up in a place where it's drama, it's almost like you addicted to it and you don't know how to get away from it.
That's
It's
your
like
survival.
there. And I feel like with my family sometimes I want it more for them than they want it for themselves. And for that, I have to take a deep breath and I have to back down off of them and continue to say my prayers for them and move on, because if I get stuck along with them, that's trouble for me. And I don't plan on going back where I came from because I struggled hard to get where I am today.
You better say it.
I
And
struggled.
you got some people waiting on you to get back there
Yeah.
so they can say, I told you so. I knew you'd be back.
Love you.
Girl, you a walking testimony. You better preach.
Yeah, I done been, and I'm gonna say this in this live, and I don't like why it even came up, but I learned to trust the process and not even say it. But I can tell you about this one time I had got into a situation, and I requested that my sister bring me a butcher. I won't say the rest of the word, but you know what I'm saying. Is something you use in the kitchen. I asked her to bring it to me. And I actually had it raised up, ready to bring it down onto the person who I had it. And I tell you no lie, this man, that man walked up behind me. And I think he had to be about 6'5", somewhere along in that line. But he was tall enough to catch my arm while it was up in the air. He caught my arm by the wrist. And me and him standing there and we fighting over this thing. Oh, girl. And I was so mad at him that day. But I'm telling you, about 10 years later, I went back home and I seen that man sitting on the side of the road on a stoop. And we had drove 2 different cars to go out of town this particular time. And when we pulled up on him, my husband was in the front leading. The next thing he looked back, I had done pulled over to the side of the road because I seen this man. On that day, I hadn't thought about, what my husband was going to say about, because my husband don't know who this man is, no nothing. But I done left my car in the middle of the road and I done jumped out the car and I went and hugged this man right there in that moment. Because at that moment, I realized that this man was responsible for me not making the worst mistake in my life. Because had I was able to carry through with what I was doing,
yeah, you could be in jail.
And where would my kids have been? And so for that, when I walked past him that day and we had all of our kids with us and everything on that day, I had to go back and give that man some honor and respect and give him a hug and tell him I thank him for what he did that day. Because when you're in a fit of rage like that right there, you can turn on the person that's trying to get it from you. Yeah. In that moment, if you able to get away with it, because he trying to distract you from what your plan is.
You're right.
And I just thank God for having people in certain positions to bring pause to And it's not the only situation that I done been in before. And somebody was always there in the right time, because at a certain point I turned into a fighter in my life and
Mm-hmm.
had to grow from that because it kept getting me in trouble. So, but yeah, I had to go back and give that man a hug, and I was literally thankful because I was there to not only be able to be raising my kids, but to be raising the other kids that needed me in their life at that time. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know who that was for. May it land in the lap that it was supposed to land. Okay.
Girl.
So, I'm just trying to see what's in the chat over here. Ooh, y'all heard that? I don't know if y'all can hear it in the background.
We can't hear it. Well, I couldn't hear it.
Hey, the thunder is booming over here.
Your husband's gonna know you on her because you know them men. Look, them old men, they be like, you gonna get struck by lightning.
Hey, the only reason that I'm able to carry on because I'm in my son's house in a different part. But honey, if I was inside the house, he'd been like, if you don't turn that damn computer off, hey, it wouldn't amaze me if he will probably get online and click the thing and say, hey, click the button and be like, hey, it's time for you to get off here. Now, cause listen, he don't like you be in the kitchen cooking no nothing. And you said it right. When it be them older men, they don't.
Not even older men. The men down south. My father was like that. Listen, when I tell you, my dad is a man's man. This man used to bath and gasoline. He would put a little gasoline to get because he used to work on cars and stuff too, like his little side hobby, whatever. Rub gasoline all over, but fill his tub up with bleach. I'm talking about he's a man's man. I'm talking about will fix everything. Don't want nobody to do nothing. He want to do everything. He said tearing up the house.
He fixed everything. He fixed our cars. I could think of only one or two times we don't ever took our car to a shop, and it's only because he don't feel like doing the work. Other than that, everything. Yep. This joker done put a whole engine on his chest before and pushed it up into the.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So he definitely is a man's man. And then at a certain point, he would get the boys, and when he go and work on the cars and stuff, he had them right out there with him, showing them how to do it. And now I hear my sons be doing that talk when they friends come around. Talking about something, I need some brakes on my car. I'm finna take my car to the shop. My sons be like, man, if you don't get down here and do your
show you how to do it. Yeah. I got a home girl. She be doing that stuff from off of watching YouTube.
Yeah, he instilled that in our boys and stuff.
I got a friend that changed the head gaskets on my car before a couple of years back from watching YouTube. Now she said, "You order the stuff, and I'm gonna try to put it on." And baby, she did. I said, "Lord, have mercy."
You can pull up anything on learn how to do it now.
It's amazing. Yeah. You know something, Shauna? Hopefully in the future we could have more intimate talks like this or whatever. And like you said, it may not be a lot of live numbers when it comes to certain talks like this. Because we talking about mess and beef. Because my numbers been looking funny lately too. Because I ain't really in the mess and beef. But I'm still getting to where I need to be. I get my after show numbers and stuff. And now we transform going over to other platforms. Now, Tashana, I got a new task for you before I leave.
What is it?
I'm gonna need you to download Bigo.
Oh my God! You be giving me some challenges.
Hold on, now that's it. That's all I'm saying. I ain't say download Bigo.
As soon as she give me a challenge and I cross that challenge, she be ready to shoot me with the next. But
listen how and we all doing this low key together. We got our YouTube. You see all the people that crossed over to TikTok. Now a lot of us already had Instagram.
Yeah.
Now I need y'all who listening as well. Download Bigo, and we'll talk about that in a couple of weeks from now. Okay. A couple of weeks from now, download the Bigo, and we're gonna have we're gonna move it over there.
Charlie, if you can drop VS channels and stuff in the chat.
Yeah, Charlie, you and my family on Bigo. See, it's a couple of us already on Bigo. Benj thinks I knew that was coming. Yeah. So Tashana, you need to check your balance on on your TikTok because I already know you got some money because I threw you some pennies today. So that's you gonna have to learn. I'm gonna show you how to check your balance.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how to do any of this stuff. I'm good. I can have the conversations and I can talk as long as the people be in here and talk. Because
Yeah.
I had no clue. Here we is 2 hours in. I feel like I've been on here for like 30 minutes. These little small intimate
Yeah.
conversations,
Yeah.
I'm still nervous about the crowd. I told you that too when my numbers start to raise up. This was not what I was expecting. I just want to come on here and tell my truth and have regular conversations like what I have with my sister. I like sister talk and stuff like that. And I could do that. We can be online for hours and hours, 500 different conversations. But I truly enjoyed this live. It could
And
have been
thank you for having me.
yeah, it was good. I really like it.
Yeah.
And I appreciate everybody that was in the chat, everything that they contributed
They
to
stayed
it.
the whole time too.
Yeah, I know. These the real riders in here. We have
And hold on, we gotta talk to Jules, Tashana, because Jules should have been at her 1,000. I don't think Jules using our YouTube method, going over there, going to the growth channels and throwing pennies. Because she would have been at her 1,000. So Jules, you slipping, Jules. You got to go over to them growth channels and just throw some pennies. That's all. Just throw a couple of pennies. Because even Bridget gonna send me a screenshot. She over 1,000. So I was like, child, they getting it over here. She should have been there.
And sometimes my numbers go back down because some people are like up and down with it. They be deleting you when after you do it. But it's very easy. Like if I go to one of those to get me back to the place that I need. And hopefully I know in the near future we ain't gonna have to do any of that because it's going to be just
we can use each other channels for the growth channels versus going to these random people channels,
Jules is over on TikTok. I don't think Jules made a
she has a YouTube channel.
Oh, she
done I don't know it though.
Okay then. Well, we have to get that information from Jules. And I need to find out how you kick somebody out the chat over there. But like I said,
girl, that happened to me too. What you did? Listen, when they don't people look like they're from other countries, girl, I don't let them up. I'm just being real.
He kept saying something about my mama or something. So I'm just like, you know what? The best thing for me is to just go ahead and end this. But I always look at it
in the whole life.
I tried it and I did it for the first day. So
I got Jules' channel. I'm finna drop it.
Okay, good.
Jules. Hold on.
Yeah, I need to get that too.
Yeah, I just subscribed to her YouTube channel. That's her right there.
Jules have good conversation. I tell you this. If you want somebody on your panel to ask some good questions, I see her back in the chat. Jules asks good questions, especially if you ain't a person that get offended. She know how to ask a question that can expand your conversation out of this world. So I really respect Jules for coming in and asking those questions that need to be asked. She asks amazing questions. I can definitely.
She has 600. Jules, you doing good. You at 600 on your TikTok. Do you mind if I drop her TikTok, Tashana, in your live?
Yeah, go ahead and drop it.
Okay, here go Jules' TikTok right here. Cause she should have been at her mark by this time. I don't think she was doing our little hustle that we was doing some tennis. That's what that is. Blessed Nene, so blessed. She got her 1,000. It's so many people on my community while saying they got their 1,000. You got it. Bridget got it. Silky Black got it. I mean, this was in like, now less than 2 weeks.
She said she got 523. You want to come up on the panel? Our soul songs.
Our soul says they want to join. Tell them come on, join.
She's saying, can she join over on TikTok and stuff?
Oh yeah, create your page and let us and then just let us know. Drop your link when Tashana go live. We'll support. Just don't be no troll. Because let me tell you, folks know they be trolling, child, and it messes up for everybody because it could be genuine people that's trying to hang out, but we gotta be cautious.
She said she have a channel for women. Yes, please.
Oh, so what's the name of your TikTok channel or your YouTube channel then? This was so awesome, Tashana. Listen, I was about to get up and run, so I'm glad I sat back down.
And
You know.
I was about to end the live, but I'm glad you came up
Mhm.
and just
Yeah.
extended it a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, I want you to have your moment, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, Jules. Hello? We can't hear you.
Hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
hear you. Hey, Jules.
Hey, listen,
How you
I
doing,
just
boo?
want I'm tired today. But I just because my two favorite ladies are on stream together,
Hey.
I just wanted to come up and say thank you to the both of you because over the last 10 days or so, maybe 14, um, the both of you have embraced me, have
Hmm.
changed my life.
Oh,
Um,
wow. That's
yeah,
deep.
I become very comfortable and at home, and I'm very grateful and I appreciate the both of you. I appreciate everyone, but seriously, VS and Tashana, you ladies are my heroes, and thank you so much for the warm welcome you have given me.
Oh, thank you. Yo, listen, you shine yourself because really you stood out. You and Thea, I must say, because when we came over there, we knew, we trying to fit in and hang out with TikTok. We don't know really what's going on. And hell, for you guys to even come on our panels and want to hang out, I thought that was amazing. Because I'm like, because we the newcomers and you willing to hang out with us and talk to us. And you even came back over to the YouTube and hung out with us. It was like,
We
shit,
don't know
you
how this
cool.
gonna go, but yeah, you offered the same thing. It's like and literally very genuine because I literally talked to VS behind the scenes and literally telling her that I want to do panels with
Yeah.
Jules
Yep.
and Thea. I do.
I, I
Because you
agree.
all don't mind asking real questions. I
Mhm.
don't like it when people get up and they
Jules, let me tell you, and you're Courtney favorite too, because before we even did that live, Courtney was saying, I need Jules to be there. She was
yeah,
looking for you.
yeah, yeah. So you can ask the real question. And I feel like you don't be
Yeah.
biased with um Silky Black say she tapping like she on TikTok. Yes, dear. Thank you for tapping. Keep on tapping, baby. But yeah, I like the conversation, and I think sometimes we get offended because we don't know where somebody coming from.
Well,
Mhm.
yeah, that's true. But uh, not so much on the panel with VS. I was that weekend. The the one that she did before Courtney came on.
Hmm.
I was getting very frustrated with the whole situation. And when she had Courtney on, um, uh, I saw things in a whole new light when it
Hmm.
came to Courtney. And my heart really went out to her, and I felt like she was being totally uh, misjudged, and she needed to be heard. And and she was, and I'm grateful for that. And I really thought that we made headway
Mm.
during that stream. Fortunately, it all went south, and then moving over to Shauna's stream, that was, I'm not going to lie, ladies, that was a triggering moment for me that
Mm.
day because the lady that shall remain nameless
Right.
triggered me because she said that she tried to say she had this perfect relationship with her daughter, and her daughter told her everything. I lived in that world,
Mm.
and with my sons, because I have three sons, and
Mhm.
I've always thought that way. And on Tashana's stream, I had revealed publicly for the first time that I didn't reveal to anyone except
Mm.
for immediate family
Yeah.
that
Wow.
boys, I had found out when they became adults that they were talking, they were going to other people, they were going to their significant others,
Wow.
people that were in their life and saying, yeah, my mom is like, things aren't right with her.
Yeah.
This is that.
Mm-hmm.
And, and
Mm-hmm.
she did this or she did that. And, and
Mm.
then it would get back to me. No, my kids would never say anything like that. No, they would never do that. And when they were, my youngest was late in his late 20s and the other two were in their early 30s. And we sat down and they said, yeah, that's what they did because they didn't feel comfortable enough to come to me because they didn't know how I was going to
React.
react.
Mhm.
I was not mentally and emotionally in a good place for myself, let alone for three boys under the age, I had three kids under the age of 5, and I was a teenager. And
Mm.
so, I did a lot wrong, and I didn't know it at the time.
Right.
Nobody there. There's no handbook on how
Right.
to mother a child. There's
And
no.
that's why we was trying to incubate Denise, even with her being a horrible parent. Now, if you ain't did anything worse than Denise, I think you doing okay because she hit every terrible thing that a parent can do. And I'm triggered by Denise because when I have my kid looking me in my face saying I'm mean or I'm overprotective and I'm this, I'm like, wow, I wish I could let you meet Miss Denise, so you can see
Yeah,
what a bad parent is.
yeah.
I wish you
And
could see.
but I don't want to come, and don't get mad at me, but I don't want to come down too hard on her because she was 17 when she had her. She was going through her own shit, even though she wouldn't admit it. I'm sorry for cursing. I apologize.
Mhm.
Um, she was going through her own stuff, wrapped up in it, and now that she
But what
has
about now though? She's not showing any the best behavior is changed behavior. She's
exactly.
worse, she's worse now than probably then. The lady
But
is really off her rocker.
VS, don't you think she's
When we
consumed in
was talking
guilt?
to her that
And that's what you don't think that it could be possible that she's consumed in guilt and that's what's driving her right now?
There's a
that's
video she would
absolutely
not let me
that's
play on
absolutely
that
what's
live.
driving her. That's absolutely what's driving her is the guilt
Yep.
of it all. And I'm telling you, that night when she was on your panel, VS, I
Uh-huh.
was behind the scene. I was trying to fight that thing for the longest, but it was so frustrating to keep
Yeah.
hearing her. Oh no, it was like anything that somebody said, she felt the need to defend the
My
way
husband only said she had no panties on because of how she dressed. Well, she chose to get in the car and then I threw the
me
video
what it
game
was
away
sounding
after she
like.
came back with herpes at the age of 13, went across the border. Well, yeah, she did want to come back home, but we really didn't have nowhere and we had bills to pay. We had a car note and man,
Point though, it
listen,
felt like to me.
excuse.
I don't know. I think that the live stream keep going in and out for me because of the storm on here. But for me, it felt like it was almost like she was telling me the way she was speaking it was like she was telling me what I had felt was a lie, whatever. And
Yeah.
that's why the tears started coming. And I'm like, oh Lord, I'm trying to fight this. And I see Charlie in the chat saying, Tashana, don't cry. And I'm like, Charlie, I'm gonna lose it this time. I got
Yeah.
I gotta go because she making me mad. And
And we was
I
trying to help Tashana.
yeah,
It's like the more you try to help, the more she fighting you.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not
and
trying to be
that's
angry with her.
why.
I'm literally trying to have a real conversation with her because I know what she's feeling. But after a while it get hard to not like
Well, and
go
that's
off on
why
this.
on Tashana's on her stream, because she was so triggering, I ended up coming out and said about my boys because It was the truth. And I believe me, I didn't want to put my personal business out there. I didn't.
Yeah.
But I felt that if I did it and
It
told
would
her
help.
the truth, that it would make her see that
She's not alone.
that number one, you're right, that she's not alone, but to make her see that it's not unheard of that your children will go to somebody else that
Yeah.
they're close to
Yeah.
complain
Yeah.
or to vent or whatever word you want to use to describe it about their parent.
Mhm.
Right.
And it just went over her head. But anyway.
Yeah, she triggered a lot of people, and it was just really disappointing because you guys don't even know the phone conversations I had with her, even offline. Her calling 5 a.m, or can you call this person? Well, call the other girl who I think killed her now. Call this person. Can you do this? Did you reach out to such a? Did you do that? And I said, and then all of a sudden she starts saying the Black Panther guy was right, and that's the reason why I cut her by her neck when I said, the same Black Panther guy who said that it's your fault that your daughter is gone. Then she dropped me from off the panel. Yeah, she didn't want to hear that.
No.
She didn't want to hear it.
Yeah.
No. But I mean, she was all up on you about getting Courtney on. Like, yeah, get her on.
Yeah.
She'll never come on.
She
And when
called, she called
Courtney
it bluff.
came
Yeah.
Got what she wished for.
Yeah.
she
got what
did
she
not
asked for.
think. She did not think that Courtney was gonna.
You right, Cassie. He wasn't lying to begin with. And V has said
Yeah,
that.
he wasn't
That
lying.
man was warning her the whole time behind the scenes.
He was. He
And
said
then
she gonna get you next.
she finally showed that, yeah.
He said she gonna get you next. Watch. You just wait. She got me.
I'm telling you, that nasty email that she sent to me, and I said I wasn't gonna share it with anybody, and I'm not, because I still would like to have a conversation with her, but is it gonna be a conversation? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, it is what I'm just saying. I don't want to beat her down in the ground because
No, but Tashana, the more you're nice to Denise, what I found is she treats you like shit. When you put your foot down with her, she would leave you alone, go about her business. I was very nice to Denise.
Yeah,
and then
I was nice to her or whatever, but it didn't go. I still haven't left with it at all. It's just that to read, and you said don't go back and read, don't finish reading, because it's a certain part of the email that it show you without you clicking on it.
Yeah.
I went to that part right there, and the first part of it I see is the word messy. So when it went to that, let me just leave it alone. And it is what it is. But I'm just like, Miss Denise,
I hope someday she finds peace.
Yeah,
I
do
really
too. I do too. And I think if she can't find peace with what happened back then, she ain't gonna never come to.
If she finds peace with this situation, she's gonna have to look inside of herself.
Yeah.
And she rather do this, like make it like she has a movement going on versus saying, okay, well, we could put this to bed. If she put it to bed, then she would have to start reflecting on herself.
Yeah.
True. That's true. That's very true.
Jules, you need to get your StreamYard together so we could come over and support your channel, because you don't have to have 1,000 over here. If you got the StreamYard, you can go live, and we could definitely come over to your live and show love.
But you all think that I have a channel. I don't.
You do have a channel. I just dropped the link to it. You can't be on YouTube in the chat without a channel.
Yeah, as long as you up here on here, you have to have a channel.
You have to have a channel. I just dropped your channel link.
Girl, ladies, listen to me. I co-produce and co-host for Nerd Report.
But we're not talking about Nerd. We talking about Jules, the one that everybody's been asking about. Jules, you have a YouTube channel. I'm finna drop the link again. You have a link. All you need is a StreamYard account. You can start off with a free one. Are you still on the free one, Tashana? And
yes,
is you on the free one? Tashana right now is on the free StreamYard. So this is what it look like right here. And you can come up here. You can chat, all that good stuff. People can come up here. You can add people if you need help learning how to do it. I don't mind showing you. It ain't gonna take that long. I help Tashana, whatever. But yeah, you need to. Sometimes we need to get out the co-pilot seat and be our own leader, and that's one of the reasons why with Tashana, I don't even want her to have me modded because I don't want people to have me and her intertwined, and that's what I found that happens a lot with They say, oh, then there's really VS channel. It's just Tashana running it. And no, this Tashana channel, that's really, I wanted her to get all out. She wanted to get out. And then when I felt like it was towards the end, okay, now let me come up there and talk my talk. Because I don't want to be like, this is a VS channel. If y'all come over here, y'all need to come over here wanting to see Tashana and not VS. This is not my channel. Right. Tashana is someone who I'm cool with, who we call like co-hosting or co-workers. You want to see me, you come on my channel. This is Tashana, so don't come over here expecting to see me out. Sometimes I don't want to be in the chat because I don't want you to think I'm going to be up on the panel each and every time. This is her stuff. She runs her own stuff. She's the leader over here. I'm a soldier over here.
The two of you, though, are polar opposites on how you present
Facts.
yourself.
Facts. That's true.
Polar opposites. VS is like right out there in your face, and Tashana is soothing and calming. And
yeah. And guess what? And that's the balance of it, though.
Yeah. And I try to keep that girl put away because she can actually be angry, but I don't want to be angry.
I like being angry.
So I try to keep it under wraps, and I don't know how it's gonna go for me because there is some things that I can still get mad about right now, but I think the people would think that maybe I sold them a dream or something with who I came on here to, because that's really who I strive to be every single day. Because I know anger does not work for me. It lands me in a bad place every single time. And once anger shows up, it's hard for me to put her back away again. I'm telling you, I done been there before where some things done happen and I done let the old Tashana show back up again. And I'm telling you, it took me about a good 2 years to put her back in that box.
Have you ever self-isolated, Tashana?
Absolutely, I do.
That's what I do.
Hey, I done had to listen, I don't.
We talked about that today.
We absolutely did. And I said, because VS told me it seemed like your truck is like your safe haven or something.
Yeah.
I'm literally telling you, there is sometimes that my head is exploding with ideas. I need to be alone. I can get my pillow and a blanket and I will go and lay down in my truck for the night. My husband does.
My bed is my haven.
Yes. Be careful with that bed though, Jules.
Because sometimes my thought pattern be so off. I need to be alone and just focus on what it is that I'm doing. So yes, I do self-isolate. And I also find it better for me to self-isolate. I rather self-isolate.
Oh, we can't hear you. Hello?
She's got that storm going on.
Yeah, okay. I got that storm going on.
We can't hear you.
Okay. And it's like blanking in and out.
Okay.
Yeah. So
let me say one more thing to Jules. Be careful with self-isolating in that bed. And I'm gonna go a little bit deep. Sleep is the cousin to death. And I'm telling you, I've had times where I felt depressed or, just felt like I don't want to die, but let me sleep, because sleep is just like death. It can be like death, right? Nothing is like nothing exists anymore. Let me tell you what's those pills people be getting from Target? They make it sound good. Let me go get some of those. What's them pills everybody be talking about you could get from over the counter to make you relax you, to put you to sleep? Melatonin.
Yeah.
Everybody, melatonin. I'm gonna take melatonin, put myself to. That's the cousin of death. You trying to take yourself out this world. You don't want to die, but you wanna not feel nothing.
Nope. I have always self-isolated my whole life because that's where that's survival mode for me.
Yeah.
And so when my husband left in 2018, I weighed at that time 290 pounds, and I self-isolated. I didn't speak to my children. I spoke to no one, and I did not leave the bed. And because of what I did, and I did this for 9 months, okay, and then in October of 2018, I ended up in the hospital, and as a matter of fact, it was the same day I was supposed to go for mediation with him at the courthouse. But at 5 a.m., I got up to go to the bathroom, and I could barely walk at that point. And I went from 190 pounds down to 87 pounds.
Wow.
And so I got up to go to the bathroom, and I hit the floor. And I don't even remember how long I was down there for. And I ended up finally getting my cell phone, and I called 911, and they had to break into my house through the sliding glass doors because I couldn't get up off the floor. And I was in the hospital for 3 days, and they said I had a mini stroke, and it was brought on by the self-isolation I was doing. I wasn't eating. I was drinking water, but not enough, really. And so I was doing damage internally to myself. And then after 3 days, I got home, and then 10 days later, boom, it happened again. And I was back in the hospital for another 5 days, and it was just a mess. And then one of my family members found out what happened and literally came to my house and came in, broke in through everybody likes breaking in through the sliding glass door, broke in, and she physically took me out of my bed and said, "We're not having this anymore."
All right.
And then brought me down to where I am now, because this was up in Hernando County in Florida, and now I'm down in Charlotte County. I would not be alive today if it was not for my cousin Dawn. She literally is the one who she actually saved my life.
So that doesn't mean that bed wasn't the cousin, though? It was getting you there.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that story goes to show that right when you at the end.
Yeah.
God always send somebody
right you up
to pick you up.
But I still do it. Like I still do it. When my cancer came back last year,
wow.
When I was going through radiation treatments, and I wouldn't speak to anyone. I wouldn't see any. There's only one person that I allowed in. And the only reason why I allowed him in was he's a truck driver, so he's not home very often. So I didn't have to worry about somebody hovering over me and saying, you can't do this, or you can't do that, or you have to do this. I was going through a really bad mental situation between dealing
Don't be scared to say it. We all deal with mental health. Ain't nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of people on here. We deal with mental health. Don't be scared to say it. I've dealt with it. We all dealt with that.
Yeah, but so I made a promise to my family a long time ago that I would never do the I made several attempts. I'm trying to word this so Tashana doesn't get flagged. I made, from age 16 on up to, I want to say in the late 90s was probably the last time that I made my attempt. And so multiple times, too many times to even keep track of. But that
Jules, you're needed.
Yeah.
You don't need to be nobody's co-host. You need to be the leader of these conversations, and because you're speaking from experience. Like it's people that need you to because you're a survivor. Look what you said, attempts, but you're still here, still standing strong.
I am still, you're right, I am still here, but that very last time when your kid is in your face.
Oh,
Yeah,
girl,
and you see it,
Tashana.
and you see it in their and you see, and especially the one that doesn't show emotion, that child that
Girl.
does not ever show emotion, and you see the tears
Yeah.
well up in the eyes. The tears
Yeah.
never dropped, but I saw the tears.
Wow.
And I'm not going to say the words that he spoke to me, but he spoke to me, and I made a promise from that day on that I would never make an attempt like that again, and I wouldn't do it. But in 2018, I did break that promise.
That's only because it was bigger than you. Remember, the mental health of some stuff is some of the stuff is
not
uncontrollable.
Yeah, I did, and it was because I was going through a very horrific divorce, and so I did break that promise. And then when I found out, and this is going to be hard for people to believe, but I was just so out of it. I never heard my dog barking, people banging on the house, the windows, the doors. The fire department was there. I knew nothing. I remember nothing. But I was told that I was on the phone with the same cousin that saved me. And yeah, it was bad. It was a bad situation. So,
But if that's the case, because remember you said that you wasn't drinking properly, wasn't eating properly, so that was beyond mental health. That was just your body reacting to not having the proper nourishment. You know,
and then taking the handful of Xanax just totally
did
it. And and so now
but Jules, you got so much energy and life inside of you. When I look at your TikTok, you be funny as heck. You be up there saying some of the funniest stuff, and you just seem so energized, like a bunny. Like you be made up pretty, your hair done up, and all that good old stuff. So you never know somebody's story until they tell you, because you look at somebody and you think they got it all together.
Right, and that's. There's that saying that you don't know what goes on behind closed doors, and no one knows what goes on in my head, I have been diagnosed with PTSD. I have abandonment issues and attachment issues. I mean, I've got, and because of what happened to me as a child, two marriages went south. And my first husband was a drug addict and an alcoholic, not a verbal abuser. And I know this sounds dumb when you say only, but it's a fact. He only hit me once. But there were just other things that were going on, and he is the biological father of my 3 children. My second husband, well, yeah, all the red flags were there, but you know what? I ignored them. And, I went ahead and married this man, and he was also a drug addict, also an alcoholic, also an emotional abuser, a physical abuser. But I became so accustomed to it that I just thought that this was the way. And also it was shame, humiliation, embarrassment. Didn't want to admit. I kept the secret for 27 years. I didn't let anybody know what was going on in my house. No one.
And think about the effect it had on your kids, though, because I'm sure they had to keep the secret as well.
Well, they were out. they were grown. They were out on. The only one that was living with me at the time was my middle son, and my ex-husband was very, very careful with what he did when Michael I just said my son's name. Oh boy, when he was around. And so he was very careful about that. But what I didn't know, and you think you're keeping a secret from everybody, and you think that no one knows, but guess what? They do know. They're
They
just
absolutely do.
they know. And
I'm
but they're not.
missing, I want to say I'm missing bits and pieces of the story, but I'm following as I come back in because I'm going in and out here. But when you talking, Jules, I'm like right eye to eye with you. I done dealt with situations with people, as you can see, Shalissa in the chat. She's saying she definitely relate to you. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
say to you, you are not alone out here, and it does not.
you know what, Tashana, I know that now, but
Unbelievable.
I go through periods of time where I choose to be alone. So if you ladies ever see that, like, I've disappeared for a while, it's not because of anything you ladies have done or anyone else. I'm just in my own head, and when I get into my own head, I step away.
Yep.
Well, that's good to know, but I do that as well.
Yeah. I did do a TikTok. Well, actually, on Nerd Report back in June, Lewis asked me. He's my favorite Cuban. I love him to death. He's another one that I attribute as my hero because he gave me a platform on his channel, and he gave me something to do. I do a lot of research for him and pull up legal documents and all kinds of stuff. And he knows some of my backstory. And then one day he said to me, Julie, when you're ready to tell your story, I hope you give me the honor of doing it.
Yeah.
On my show. And I said, I would. And then finally in June, I said to Lewis, I said, well, Mr. Lecca, I think it's time. He goes, time for what? I said, I think I'm ready to tell the story. He said, you're going to tell the whole story? I said, no, just the 27 years of the marriage. I'm not going to tell. I'm not ready for my childhood.
Yeah.
And so I did. And what I did was I sent him the photos.
Yeah.
And I sent him I'm so sorry I did that to you. Can we not fight again? Like, because every time I got beat, I got flowers or I got candy or I got I love you cards, and can we start over? So, just so he would know that when I was telling my story, that these were facts. Like, this is no Amber Heard here. This is Julie Bella here, not Amber Heard. So I gave him the receipts. So I let him interview me, and he asked some hard questions, and I told him, and he went to go look at the pictures, and before he went to go look at the pictures, he said to me, do you want me to show them on air? And I said, I'm good. I'm good with it. So if you want. Well, he started looking at the pictures before he put them up, and he goes, I can't.
They were that bad.
He said, oh my God, he tried to kill my Julie. And I was, and that, when I heard him say that, because when I look at those pictures, I don't feel that. So to hear somebody else say that when they looked at the pictures, I started to tear up, and I had to take myself off camera. And so 2 or 3 days later, I said, you know what? If Lewis reacted to those pictures like that, the public needs to see those pictures. And I made a TikTok, and it's on TikTok. Those photos are on on TikTok. They're there.
Yeah, I'm scared to look. I almost feel like it's triggering. I haven't even seen it yet. Just hearing you talk about it's like, wow, if that affected him that bad, ooh.
They're there, and because listen, I don't know why I stayed with a liar, a cheater, you know, an abuser. I was in love with him, but I also had issues because of my childhood. So listen, it is what it is. And, you know, 2 years ago, I had finally come to grips with, you know, it's over. He's not coming back. And then last year, what does he do? He's taking me to court. We're going over spousal support. And, you know,
Wow.
it's like he's just being an ass, and it just, it's triggering because I finally accepted the fact that that part of my life is over. Now let me try to move forward. But then that happened, and then I got sick again, and then Hurricane Ian, you know, came upon me, and it was like, yeah, no, I can't move forward. It's like there's something there that still has their clutches in me that won't allow me to move forward. I don't know if that makes any sense.
When you say move forward, like you think like y'all would be back together, move forward, you saying?
No. I finally came to the realization 2 years ago that wasn't going to happen.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. I would have taken him back. Yes. I took him back so many times before. So yes, I would have. Even after the divorce was final, I could sit there and fantasize him calling and saying, Julie, I'm so sorry. Let's start over.
That's just because you're familiar. You know how you familiar with something. I don't think because you acknowledge you knew what he did was wrong. You knew it hurt. You knew it wasn't good. But he's very familiar. You know what I'm saying? And what's best, familiar. You were speaking one day and you kept mentioning your age. No matter how pretty we say you are, you mention your age. So that could. Stop me if I'm wrong. I know there's insecurity, but think about at this big age, I'm 40, 41. I can't even imagine starting over. So at your age, I can't, imagine like, oh, I gotta start over and look for somebody else. Now I'm not the young bunny, like.
You got that right.
So you start thinking about, you start doubting yourselves. Can I find love? Like, do people find love at this late age? Or, then you have all the, women, we already have insecurities even in our 20s. So imagine being older. There's already a shortage of men. So he's very familiar. It's like, okay, I know what I got with him, but you don't know what you're getting. You know what you got, but you don't know what's in the future for you. Do you want to die alone? Do you want to be alone? Are you okay with being alone? You get what I'm saying? So I totally get what you're saying.
Well, I did not want to be alone. No, I didn't. But now that I was forced into a position to be alone,
yeah,
it took me a long time, because don't forget, first I went to my cousin's and I was with her for 5 months. I slept on her couch, and then I found a room to rent. So I rented a room for 7 months in someone else's house until I was able to save the money. And now I rent a very small, very modest home here in Florida. And now, and I've been here for 2.5 years now. And so, yes, I am truly alone now. And at first it was bothersome, but honestly, now I like being alone because I don't have to answer to anybody. I don't have to do anything. My house is clean. I'm not picking up. This sounds terrible, but I'm not.
No, it doesn't.
man. I'm not picking up after a man anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have to make sure dinner's on the table at 4:30
Yeah.
when he gets home from work.
If you want to get in your bed and poo the way you can poot, if you want to poop with the door open, you can. If you want to pick a booger out your nose, if you don't feel like doing your hair, if you want to be funky for a day, you can. You ain't gotta try to make sure you perfect for the next person who ain't even trying to be perfect for you. Honey, I get it. I am happily single. Now, these are the moments where we realize we good enough for ourselves. And that's when I think good things are going to come now, because it's like a test. Can you be okay alone? Can you be happy being by yourself? Can you feel good about yourself being by yourself? Once you defeat all those levels, baby, you at the King Cooper trying to get across that bridge, because you done beat the biggest battle.
Well, yes, and here's the thing: for the last 2.5, almost 3 years now. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed to even tell you guys this. I met a man, but
probably on Plenty of Fish, Jules on there trying to get that meat on Plenty of Fish. I'm talking shit.
I was out with my cousin doing karaoke, and
all right,
the group of bikers pulled up. And they were in the bar, and my cousin said, "Julie, look over there." And I leaned back in my chair, and there's this like really big guy standing there. And I'm like, "Ooh, he's fine." So we're talking, and I kept looking, and then finally, I said to everybody we were with, "I'm going over there," and they're like, "No, you're not." And I was like, "Oh, so I went over to the bar, and there was this young kid standing there. And I just shoved him over, and he looked at me. I said, "Shh, just go with this." And so I'm standing there, and I'm trying to get this one guy's attention. But the other bikers that he was with turn around. They start talking to me. "Oh, you're either Greek or Italian." I said, "I'm Italian." We start talking, but I keep giving the guy the side eyes, and I could see he's giving me side eyes, but after 10 minutes, nothing. So I was like, screw this. And I went back to the table. About 5 minutes after that, they left. The very next Sunday, I'm at Harley Davidson for an event that was going on there. And I go to walk through the service entrance to go get a beer. And out of the corner of my eye, I see this large figure looming at me. And I turn around and look, and he goes, "I remember you." I said, "Yeah, I remember you. You didn't give me the time of day last Sunday." He said, "You want to go in and have a drink?" And I was like, "Yeah." So we went in, we had a drink, we talked, went on a motorcycle ride with him that night. And we have been talking. He is in the same place that I am. I'm out of a bad relationship. I say I'm broken. He says he's broken. So we are each other's emotional support over the last 2.5 years. He has gotten me through some tough times. He's gotten me through some financial decisions and like a lot of personal decisions that I needed help with. And I did the same for him. And then, there's a little something going on every now and then. I mean, but it's everybody's like, "Why aren't you going out?" "No, I don't want to." Like the little something every now and then is just fine. It's not like when I was married and so it's on this time. It's on my terms. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you don't have to rush into nothing. Sometimes don't nobody got to be married. You could live happily ever after playing around. Let's be real, because
and I just wanted to add that, Jules, anything you doing, as long as it ain't the same time, it ain't the same exact thing that you did the first time, the second time. As long as you're doing something different.
Yeah.
This man is different.
No, I ain't worried about the man. I'm worried about you, Jules. As long as you're doing something different than what you did the other 2 times, that's moving forward.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing over again is definitely the definition of insanity. So as long as you're doing something different than what you did to get the results that you got the last time, you're gonna be
Well, let's just say this. The different thing that I'm doing this time is I'm not giving myself up to anyone, not even to my friend. I'm me.
When you say not giving you talking about you not getting no ping.
No, I'm not. Uh, I'm not looking for a forever partner.
Okay. So
Yeah,
you're looking to have
she in
fun. You're
that
looking
place
for
we talked about earlier,
companionship.
yeah.
You want a companion,
I
but you
feel
ain't
like
looking.
she in that place in what you
Mhm.
talked about earlier today when you said when you get to that place where I'm fine if it doesn't and I'm fine if it does.
Yeah,
It's just like I'm in a different place right now. I don't know
that's
what
what I
this
told her.
is, but it's different.
People see people single and they think you unhappy.
Yeah.
I'm happy single because I am very capable of getting somebody. How do I know? I've been married twice, been engaged, and had boyfriends, had girlfriends, had it all. So I know, like, my insecurity is not being able to get somebody. Is I want that somebody, if that makes sense. I ain't got time for games no more. I ain't
You see
looking for
what
nobody.
you see where our soul wrote right here because we talked about this today too. Did we or did we not?
But girl, I met my husband from a one night stand, and we were together for 9.5, almost 10 years. So I get it.
With no expectations or no nothing
Yeah.
when you least expect it.
Well, that's where for God, I hate using the term friends with benefits because it just sounds
It's
so
a real thing,
sleazy.
though. It's a real thing, though.
Yeah, it is a real thing. The key to that, though, to make that work, is you can't get attached. And this is
Yeah.
easy for no attachment because he's an
Mhm.
over the road truck driver.
Right. Okay. But think
So
about it. All the conversations that you want, you gonna get. A lot of times women say men don't talk. He a truck driver, baby. He finna talk your ear off your head to keep him awake on that
oh my
road.
God, we were on the phone. Like he knew I had a doctor's appointment today because they called me yesterday. I had blood work done, and I'm not going to get into it, but he knew I was upset. And he called me this afternoon. What did the doctor say? So we were on the phone for about an hour. But like yesterday, we were on the phone 3 hours. The day before, we were on the phone like 4.5 hours. I mean,
Yeah.
probably the longest we've ever been on the phone while he's on the road is like 6.5 hours, probably. And then when he comes home, his routine is when he gets home, he goes home to his house. That's the first thing. And he does have a son. So, being on the road so long, he wants to spend time with his son. But the first day he's home, the first thing he does is throw his clothes in the laundry, take a shower, have something to eat, and he goes to bed, and he's out for like 24 hours.
Yeah.
Then
Rest.
it's yeah, and and gets acclimated to be home because then he's home for like 5 or 6, 7 days. And then, we will have our time together, and then off he goes. And then he's gone again. And that's like when he told me yesterday, he goes, I have bad news. I'm not going to be home on the 11th. I said, what do you mean you're not going to be home on the 11th? And, well, truck broke down again and blah, blah, blah. So he's not going to be home for 3 weeks. But see, this is working for me because I don't have to worry. I don't have to have anybody. No one's.
It's no obligation. That's what it seems
like. Exactly. But if I need him, even when he's on the road, I can call him and say, hey, this is what happened today. What should I do? Or how should I do it? Same thing with him. Like he'll call me and say, this is what, like today, he called me with the intentions of finding out what happened at the doctor's. And then he gave me, he spoke to me about stuff that was going on with him. And he goes, what are your thoughts on this? And I said to him, I gave him what I thought. And he goes, well, I don't want to hear it. Then why'd you ask? Then why did you ask? He goes, I just don't want to talk about it right now. He says, I'm trying to get out of Seattle. And I was like, okay. I said, but we'll table it for now. I said, but when you get home, this is a conversation that needs to be had. I said, he can't put this crap off any longer. So, you know, and so that's the kind of, but we don't call it a relationship.
In your other relationships, did you have the communication that you having with this person now?
No.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is sometimes you don't recognize the little things that you are doing different. This is something different that you're doing. You having a conversation with somebody that you didn't have with somebody else before. So you're doing something different. You're not doing the same thing you did before, regardless of how this turned out. You trying something different.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to speak my mind. If I, you know, especially if he was drinking, you know, it didn't take me long to figure out like when to keep my mouth shut and not say anything and not even look up. But with this one here, I was like that. I was very timid when I first met him, even though, you know, I got ballsy and went up to the bar and then saw him the following week and all of that stuff. But that was me taking a first step forward on something I would never do. And then talking, he allows me to, when I'm upset, to actually speak without fear of someone gonna backhand me or, you know, I have, like, when it comes to words face to face, I suck at it big time. Now, keyboard warrior, yes, that's me. I can write out the most scathing things that you could possibly imagine and hit send, and then I got to block. Then I block because then I'm fearful of what's going to come. And I have done that to him in the beginning, and he's like, he'll send me an email, unblock me from your phone. I was like, he goes, why couldn't you tell me that, you know, when we were talking? But now I can. But he's the only one that I could do that, because he just sits there and he lets me spew. And then he said, okay, are you finished now? And I was like, yeah. He goes, do you want to hear my take? And I was like, yeah. And then he'll give me his take. But no raising of, he doesn't raise. 6'4", 270 pounds. He's big. People look at him and they're like, well, he used to be, intimidating. Yeah. And they're like, you know, but he is a gentle, kind person. And he taught me how to not be fearful. Can I be like that with someone else? No, I don't think so. So therefore, I'm quite satisfied with the way things are now.
Yep. Well, you thought that you couldn't do this part right here, but you found the space where I told you, when you find the comfortable space for you, you'll be able to do it. And once you get accustomed with doing it, it'll be hard for you to put it away. So, I mean, keep on taking them baby steps as towards where it is that you want to be in your life. You can absolutely achieve it. I know from experience.
Maybe. But I'm not looking.
You don't have to.
You ain't looking because you already been entertained. That's why.
You don't have to.
That's why.
I don't know, V. You really think that's it? I don't know.
Oh, I think you're satisfied with what's happening right now. So you're not, you would, if Mr. Right walked past you, you wouldn't even stop him and tap him on the shoulder, because right now you seem content. Everything you just said, you content. So Mr. Right has probably passed by you a couple of times, if he passed by you, but you're comfortable with how everything is going for you right now, it seems.
Well,
I'm just going off what you said.
It
seems like you're happy with this guy, but you don't want to push it too much where it changes the dynamics, or if it doesn't work out, because it is comfortable having this, you know, available energy when you need him and y'all on a schedule. And it's always easy when pressure is not being applied. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you don't know how somebody gonna act when you say, okay, I'm ready to get serious.
Right.
You know, you because you're scared, you don't want to run nobody off. You don't want them to feel like, oh, you applying the pressure to me. You know what I'm saying? It's easy in this moment. Isn't this what they call honeymoon?
Hey, that honeymoon stage be lasting a long time sometimes. I was earlier, me and V just to like
We was
change
talking about
gears
this.
a little bit, because I
Yeah.
was telling her, I was like, how long do it take, like, you to, you know, to shift the way you move and stuff like that? I was telling
Yep.
this earlier that, well, when me and my husband first decided to live together, combined in one household, for a long time he would go to work and everything, but he never seen me use the bathroom.
Number 2.
You know, I would be like,
Oh,
I can't wait for him to go.
You can't poop. You
I
can't
can't wait for him to go to work, because when he go to work, then I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Yeah, and then before I
That's-
can even complete it with VS say what he did, double back one morning.
Yep.
He doubled back one morning. Oh, I thought you don't do that no more, boy.
Yeah.
Coach. Hey, I was so embarrassed, but at that
Don't leave a skeet mark on the toilet bowl, child.
hey, he broke the ice for me. I was so embarrassed. It was just like he just standing there in the bathroom just talking to me like this is just very normal.
Oh Lord.
It's like
serious.
it's according to where you coming from and what is normal, or you know, or whatever. But yeah, it took me the things you think are the simplest things that are very natural. You'll be coming from where we come from. It can be a task to get past those things. Like, that's something literally you can't stop unless something's going wrong with your body, you know. But you know, had it not been for him breaking that ice and doubling back that day, you know, I don't know how long it would have went on. But
isn't it funny though? Guys just don't have any shame. They don't care. They'll do it.
They don't care. Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
All right, Tashana, I don't mean to interrupt y'all, but I gotta take my doggies out. So I'm gonna take them out. I'll be in the chat if you're still live. But thank you, Jules, and thank you, Tashana, for having me up. I appreciate both of you.
It has been a pleasure. I don't think I'm gonna be up here that much longer, because I done like I'll be trying to tell my kids that I'm gonna do probably like about 2 hours. And this live went way better than I ever thought I was. I absolutely love the conversation. Jules, I thank you for coming up here. And
I thank you for having me. And I'm gonna pop off too, because like you said, you 14 kids, woman. Oh my God. I don't even know what to say about that.
You gotta go back and look at my story of how I got to that place. I got a bunch of little bit of snippets, and I'm telling my story a little bit at a time as I feel like I need to, like, get them out or whatever. But I mean, go back and look at a couple of things, and you might have some questions that'll be a great live that you could come in and ask me questions about some of those videos that I posted and everything, you know.
Woman, I don't think you want me to do that.
No, I do. I'm when I say that, I'm serious. I'm talking to anybody who in the chat or whatever right now. I literally love questions. Sometimes it prompts me to go to a place that I haven't thought of in those areas, and I try not to go past it, because I want to keep, you know, telling the story a little bit at a time, you know, and not get past what I've already been over. But I think there's a lot of questions that can come up in what I've already posted. And yes, if I'm telling you, Jules, that I want you to ask questions, I mean it for real.
Okay, I'm gonna do that, because I'm alone. All I do is watch YouTube videos, and now, you know, started getting into TikTok, and TikTok is it's an addiction.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely gonna try to do more over on TikTok. I need to learn how, you know, maybe somebody can teach me how you get somebody off your panel.
That was funny.
Was definitely a great Great, great, great.
Yeah.
Learning
It was.
experiment and everything, you know.
Listen, sometimes I'm not always on. I might be getting caught up doing
From
something or
any
whatever. So send me a message and, give me a heads up. Let me know, you're going on. So I make sure I'm there to support you.
Okay, no problem. Thank you
All right.
again.
Well, good night, everybody. Everybody in the chat. It was lovely, Tashana. Thank you again so much for having me.
You are very welcome. I appreciate you just as much, Jules.
Okay. I'll talk to you soon, hon. All right. Good night.
Okay, then. Good night. Ooh, my people, my people, my people. I love this. I don't even know what we can call this, but I wish we can come together like this, like one time out the week and do this. Our soul, I'm so glad you came in and joined us. I'm looking forward to, doing something with you. Just let me know. Hit me up in a when I'm on here, whatever, I have Instagram and everything, you can hit me up back on Instagram, and that goes for anybody. I love having conversations. So, if any of you all, you can always go over on Instagram, send me a message over there. I'm getting better at answering those things because I ain't used to answering to those things. But I'm definitely looking forward to having more conversations with the people that was in here tonight and whoever else that's that want to join in. Again, I appreciate every single one of you all for showing up because this live stream could not have been what it was without any of you all up in here. So again, I thank you. And I'm going to say good night. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel and go on this journey with me. I appreciate you all again very, very much for everything that you do and keeping our channel over here protected. Um, I will let me make sure I get everything before I leave out. This was a great refreshing that we're not alone. Okay, good night to you wonderful people. All right, then. And our soul says she's all about empowering women. So, binge thinker, I appreciate you too. I appreciate the questions that you come through and you ask and everything that you add through to the conversation. So, just thank you for everybody. Cassie, you too. Again, thank you all for making this a great live. I'm all smiles like I try to be all the time anyways. But thank you all again and good night.